than your mom's.
Good, how you guys doing?
Plus, daily fantasy and gambling insight.
Ryan Tannehill, his numbers are very close to Mahomes-esque.
If it's happening in the NFL, hear it here. It all starts with Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, and continues all day, right here on ESPN.
We are Dayton's home of the Ohio State Buckeyes.
And into the end zone goes Chris Olave. KJ Hill, 6-yard touchdown catch. Right sideline and down he goes to the end zone.
WING 1410 Dayton's ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on a Tuesday. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410. Wing AM. Not really sure what happened there. My apologies. Let's try this one more time. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash live here on Dayton's ESPN radio station. Mr. Kev Nash, how are you? Welcome.
What up, though?
Excited for today's show. We're going to talk a little baseball. I'll mix it up a little bit as we open up the show here today. But there's lots of ways you could take in the show today. Of course, we're live on 1410 Wing AM, streaming live at wingam.com, and of course, live on Facebook, the Justin Kinner Show Facebook page and the ESPN Dayton Facebook page. So make sure you check us out there. Oh, yeah, our ESPN Dayton YouTube channel. Plenty of ways you could take the show in. So excited to be hanging out with everyone. Ron Broadstock right off the bat says good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ron. I hope you were doing well. So right now there is a game going on. Major League Baseball, as the regular season starts to wind down. The Reds will play their final regular season game tomorrow afternoon. Of course, they'll knock out our show. It'll be the last time that we're interrupted by the Reds, at least for the rest of 2022. But with that being said, the Yankees and the Rangers right now are going head to head. They are tied at 2 runs apiece. Now, I don't think you really care too much about the Yankees and the Rangers game per se, but there's an interesting storyline, not an interesting storyline, not just any storyline. It's a storyline that used to carry Major League Baseball, especially for me as a kid growing up. We value baseball more than any other sport. We value these records, right? We value the home run record. That is baseball's baby, right? What do you think? What's the baby in the NBA? What's the record? Is it the scoring record? What is the record in the NBA that is just what everyone eats, breathes, and sleeps? Is it the total championships? But I think that's a cop-out. I don't think you could pick championships because every sport wants championships.
Right. It would have to be the one that I remember the most growing up was the assist record. Maybe because the person that held it being Magic Johnson as a kid, but like now I believe Mark Jackson's ahead of Magic Johnson. I know not Steve Nash, but John Stockton is ahead of Magic Johnson. So I think it's the assist record for me.
But like, I don't think that record makes or breaks. Like, I feel like the 3-point record seems to be now, at least in basketball, the one that is most sacred. But I still think it's scoring. I mean, you're judged by how much. I mean, you could be a guy that you can average 28, 14, and 14 in the NBA, or 17, 14, and 14 in the NBA. And the guy that averages 27, 28 with the same rebound and assists averages, the guy that scores that much, you're just going to be put on a whole other level. I still think it's scoring, and LeBron's about to break that record this upcoming season, which of course we will be told that record means absolutely nothing now, right? Like that's just how it works when it comes to LeBron. But baseball's all about the records. What about the NFL? What in the NFL? What is that NFL record that like we stop on a dime for? Like when it comes to that big a record being broken, is it total passing yards of the
passing yards and the rushing yards? I remember when Emmitt Smith broke the rushing record held by Walter Payton. Unfortunately, he was no longer with the Dallas Cowboys. He was with the Arizona Cardinals when he eventually broke that. Looked weird for him to break that great record in a different uniform than the one he was compiling most of those stats for. So for me, definitely the passing yards and rushing yards. And I don't think anybody's ever going to smell Emmitt Smith rushing title ever again. That's one. Like we talk about like the baseball, like back in the 90s, nobody's going to hit this amount of home runs. I don't think anybody's going to touch Emmitt Smith's all-time rushing record anymore.
Scoot back to your left just a tad. I got rid of the other camera because it wasn't working correctly. So, we're off and rolling. Real bumpy start to the show. The rushing record, the only reason I would say I don't think has a ton to it is because Emmitt Smith is the NFL's all-time leading rusher, and I don't know what that means for him. I constantly see people put out their top 5 NFL running backs. Emmitt Smith is never in that list. and he's the NFL's all-time leading rusher. The NBA, you can't put a list out of all-time greats without putting the NBA's all-time leading scorer. The passing record of the NFL, you can't put a list of quarterbacks out without having the NFL's all-time leading passer. So that's the only, and I'm with you. I mean, was one of the biggest Emmitt Smith fans in the world growing up. Keith Byers hates that, by the way. So I know I'm with you on that. That's the only reason I don't put a lot of stock into the rushing record, is just because it seems to not give anyone, that seems to be a longevity record more than it does anything else. But with baseball, it's all about records, right? Like for me growing up, it was any record that was on the brink of being broken or set. It was breaking news on ESPN or any other major sports network out there. People are actually upset right now. Every time Aaron Judge steps into the batter's box, Kev, we're interrupting college football. We're interrupting any other sport, any other baseball games, programming, what have you. I'm amazed at how angry, the people get. People get angry when you interrupt their show to let you know that a tornado is coming to hit your house. We get angry at that. We get angry. We get angry that our show's interrupted because Aaron Judge might set the regular season home run record, or will he? That's the big debate that we'll open up with today. But to me, I missed that as a kid. I remember growing up, every time I'm watching a game, the Barry Bonds cut in. That was a huge deal, right? Like that to me, that's how I always just felt like, man, baseball just seemed bigger than everything else, because we weren't interrupting games for NFL things. We weren't interrupting games for NBA records. We were constantly having our sports interrupted because, oh man, Barry Bonds is up to bat, right? Like, or Sammy Sosa, the Mark McGwire, the cut-ins for that race that year. That's why me as a kid, baseball was so enamored by it, because they're literally interrupting live broadcasts to bring you an at-bat of someone. Can you name any other sport that gets that attention?
No.
That baseball, that's what makes baseball so special. So this Aaron Judge home run pursuit to break the regular season record, at least in the American League, because Barry Bonds has hit the 73 home runs back in 2001. And, the big debate is who's the real regular season home run king? Is it Aaron Judge, or is it going to be Barry Bonds? Of course, right now, 61 home runs, I believe, is what Aaron Judge is tied with Maris right now, looking for home run number 62. He has today and tomorrow to break that record, and most likely will. Who knows what happens there? But if not, that still, we haven't seen a season like this in decades. I mean, It's been a while, or at least over a decade. But the big debate right now that everyone keeps asking is Aaron Judge, if he hits home run number 62, is he the regular season home run king, or is it Barry Bonds who has 73? I'm curious your opinion before I give mine.
Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds is going to be the home run king because he has more. Until MLB decides to strip him of that, you can put as many asterisks on it as you want until they say, no, that's not it. It's going to be the record, because it's in the record book. You can look it up. We can Google it right now, and he'll have the most. So it's Barry Bonds.
Right now, by the way, just to give you some, an idea of the dominant season that Aaron Judge is having right now. Aaron Judge, 61 home runs. Kyle Schwarber is the second home run leader in 2022 with 46 with the Phillies. Pete Alonso with the Mets has 40. Mike Trout with the Angels has 39. Austin Riley of the Braves has 38. Those are your top 5 home run hitters this season. Now, all time, when you look at that 73 home run season that Barry Bonds had back in 2021, we've seen guys like Sammy Sosa multiple times have 66 and 64 home runs in a season. Mark McGwire had 70. So why are we ignoring them and having the debate be between him and Barry Bonds? Well, because we totally throw out Mark McGwire. We totally throw out Sammy Sosa's records because of that. And the big question is, what do you do with Barry Bonds' record? I'm with you, Kev, 100%. Barry Bonds is still the regular season home run king. I know the holier-than-thou people out there that want to try and act as if Barry Bonds never existed or that his accomplishments don't count. You don't have to like it, but the bottom line is Barry Bonds, as well as Sammy Sosa and as well as Mark McGwire, those home runs are popping up in the all-time home runs leaderboard because, well, they count.
Right.
They count. And as Kev said, unless baseball goes in and physically takes them off the record books, I don't know how you can argue otherwise. You could say, well, Barry Bonds, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, all playing on a level playing field, because back then, everyone's favorite excuse, everyone was doing it. You can argue that what makes Aaron Judge's run right now so impressive is the fact that the sport is clean and all that stuff. Okay, that I'm not taking anything away from Aaron Judge. This is a fantastic season. For modern day baseball, we don't see something like this. For as many at-bats that these guys in Major League Baseball take that are specifically designed for them to hit a home run, they have more of a green light to hit home runs today than at any other decade and era in baseball history. So to me, I know the do-gooders out there, Barry Bonds cheated, I don't know. You don't have to like how he did it. But at the time that Barry Bonds was juicing, if you will, he wasn't breaking the rules at that time.
Right.
He was great. Him and everyone else was doing steroids. That wasn't against the rules. And they changed the rules one day. And then everyone just kept kind of cruising along. Bottom line is the home runs are on the books. You can't convince me that Barry Bonds was only good because of steroids. You can't convince me that Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire were only good because of steroids. These dudes were going to be knocking the snot out of the ball one way or another. It's just their heads were a little bit bigger than what they would have been without it. So to me, fantastic season by Aaron Judge. I'm glad that the do-gooders are getting a lot of enjoyment out of this. You could say this is the new regular season home run mark if he hits number 62, but it's not. All it means is he's going to move in to number 7 and be still one home run behind Sammy Sosa, who hit 63 back in 1999. This will be the 7th most home runs hit in a season, whether it's National League or American League. He'll be the American League record holder, but as far as all-time regular season home run record holder, no, that still belongs to Mr. Barry Bonds.
Yeah, I think both are true. I think Barry Bonds cheated, but also it was legal. So, until baseball decides to go back and say, these are no longer records, these guys are wiped from the books, then we have to respect the fact that they're in there. That's just as simple as it has to be. And for, Aaron Judge, we talk about people betting on themselves. The amount of money that the Yankees were going to pay him last offseason, and he turned down the contract and everything like that. Oh, they're 350. He's going to be like at 350 now. And, I like kind of what he said. He's like, yo, I'm only focused on now and winning the championship. I'll worry about my personal numbers during contract time. So what does that mean to the New York Yankees? You're going to have to pony up. Y'all just got a new TV contract. All that money that y'all could have paid them beforehand is going to be at least $50 million more now, at least.
Yeah, Aaron Judge, again, before the season, he had turned down a 7-year extension worth $213 million. He bet upon himself. A lot of parallels between him and Lamar Jackson right now. And let's be clear, Aaron Judge had a good start to the season, but he didn't really start heating up until really heading into the All-Star break and then catching fire coming out. And even he went about a week and a half stretch where he didn't hit a home run at all as the pressure started to mount. He finally kind of got out of that drought a bit. But he's going to get paid, whether it's in New York or whether it's elsewhere.
Oh, it's going to be in New York. It's just a matter of which New York team.
A lot of reports coming out that doesn't know if he wants to remain in New York. That they're, Lamar is tight-lipped and as buttoned up as Lamar and his team has been about future plans and how aggressive he's being in these contract negotiations. We just know nothing's been done yet.
Right.
Aaron Judge is kind of doing a lot of the same thing. There's no animosity. Lamar shows up, does his job, and goes home, right? Aaron Judge, kudos to him. He shows up, does his job, and goes home. I like to see these guys who, just because a team offers it to you doesn't mean you have to accept it, but I respect the fact that they still show up for work and that they're still doing their end. You know what I mean? Continuing to show up and work and do everything that they need to. But him doing this on a contract year, if you will, it makes this even bigger, and I think it's pretty impressive. But we'll step away for a few moments. 518-1410. 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. Your thoughts on this Aaron Judge regular season home run mark, again, sitting at 61, tied with Maris. And of course, if he hits number 62, in the eyes of some, that's the new regular season record right there, not just in the American League, but in baseball as a whole. Me and Kev both agree, though, unless he hits 13 home runs between now and tomorrow, he won't be, but it's still an impressive season nonetheless. 518-1410. We'll be right back.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The mid-afternoon and early evening will be clear and sunny, a high near 72. Tonight's going to be mainly clear, a low near 45, and tomorrow's going to be clear and sunny, a high near 76. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the very best value in bath and shower remodeling, and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that's safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase right now. Visit Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com and upgrade today.
When you download the Home Depot app, taking on big or small projects starts with a tap. It's your pocket-sized toolbox for getting more done. Image search helps you find what you need with a snap. Store mode pinpoints exactly where to go to get what you want while you're at our store. Or just tap to arrange for easy curbside pickup, all from the palm of your hand. It's the app that's made for doing. The Home Depot app. How doers get more done.
Wendy's new French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me. Did you just say Wendy's new French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours. Today on Hey Culligan, reverse to reduce. Here's Bob.
Hey Culligan, I love fresh water, but I got plastic bottles coming out.
Whoa, Bob, you are not kidding about the bottles. But did you know Culligan's reverse osmosis and always-on drinking water systems provide fresh, clean, delicious drinking water and help reduce the equivalent of over 15 billion plastic bottles from landfills worldwide?
Holy, fresh, environmentally friendly drinking water. Am I right?
Right, Bob. And we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test from a local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Get what you want and pay over time when you use your Lowe's Advantage Card. Now through October 26, 2022. Ask for 0% APR with 36 fixed monthly payments on a product installation or appliance purchase of $1,000 or more. Shop for the appliances you want in-store or online. Or go to the store nearest you for installation. Now at Lowe's. Offer subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Beyond's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You need employees.
Tell me about it.
Actually, tell us about it.
Why?
Because when you tell us about your job openings, we can tell over 300,000 other people.
You can?
Yeah, whether you're looking for a job or a better job, Alpha Media Recruitment can help fill any position with qualified job seekers with a custom plan that combines our broadcast and digital platforms.
You can do that?
It's what we do. Alpha Media Dayton, on air, on site, on demand. Call 937-519-0111. That's 937-519-0111. Or email DaytonJobs@alphamediausa.com. That's DaytonJobs@alphamediausa.com.
Are you ready for a mealtime favorite made famous? Then stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and order up a chicken pot pie combo for only $6.49. You'll get chunks of savory premium chicken, carrots, peas, and potatoes in a creamy sauce, all baked in a flaky pastry crust and served with a regular drink. This is comfort food at its finest. Get the meal that's oven fresh and wallet friendly with the chicken pot pie combo. Only at Lee's. Famous for chicken.
Save 11% off everything at Menards. Honeywell Home Wi-Fi smart thermostats keep your home's temperature comfortable throughout every season. Personalize your Wi-Fi Color Smart programmable thermostat to fit your decor. The bright, easy-to-read touchscreen makes for simple operation. View the daily forecast, save endless amounts of energy, and control it all with your smartphone. Save 11% on all Honeywell thermostats now at Menards. Good through October 9th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
The IRS doesn't mess around. If they want your money, they'll take it. They can take your paycheck and bank accounts too, even threaten your home or business. Don't take on the IRS alone. If you owe back taxes, the smartest thing you can do is call Optima Tax Relief. The experts at Optima specialize in a powerful IRS tax assistance program called the Fresh Start Initiative. And their clients that qualify are saving thousands. One call starts the process to stop the demand letters, stop aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS from targeting you. But don't delay. It's important to act now while you still have options. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Optima has already resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get your life back. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima now for your free consultation.
Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Wendy's new homestyle French toast sticks are so good, some are saying they're better than their moms. Perfectly crispy, perfectly golden brown. Try Wendy's new homestyle French toast sticks today and see if they're better than your mom's.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Two of the top teams in the GWAC go head-to-head this Friday night, I should say, at 7 o'clock, right here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Buckeye legend Keith Byers and myself, Justin Kinner, will be on the call. It's our ESPN Dayton High School Football Game of the Week. Can't believe it, week 8 already. After this weekend, we'll be 80% of the way through the season. I can't believe already we're heading towards the final couple weeks. But nonetheless, things are heating up. Again, two of the top GWAC teams going head-to-head Friday night, as we will, of course, have the Fairmont Firebirds on the road at the Wayne Warriors, and a lot on the line. The updated computer ratings came out today. We'll talk about which of our local teams are in playoff contention as we currently sit here at the early stages of October. We opened up the show, of course, talking about this, right now as the Yankees are in the middle of play right now, and the regular season for Major League Baseball wraps up tomorrow. Of course, the two biggest headlines of the season really have come down to Albert Pujols' just historic finish to the 2022 regular season. I saw a stat that in 2001, he homered in his very first at-bat at Busch Stadium, and then in his very last at-bat ever in the regular season at Busch Stadium, he also hit a home run, which is fitting considering that's all he's been doing, Kevin, 2022 is hitting home runs.
Home run.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash here on 1410 ESPN Radio. So as far as we're concerned with this Aaron Judge pursuit of home run number 62, many believe that is officially the new regular season record for home runs hit in a season. And for Aaron Judge to do it in today's modern baseball in a day and age where we haven't really seen records like this kind of pushed, if you will, in quite some time, it is a little refreshing. It's led to a lot of fans who may have forgot how baseball operates, that when historic things like this happen, they do break in to the middle of broadcast. And we, these are big moments in baseball. And I said, well, regardless of your opinion of baseball, football is king and people love basketball. I get that, but baseball is the only sport that has moments so big that they actually cut into other live broadcasts of sports, as big as the NFL is. We don't cut into a Major League Baseball game on Sunday Night Baseball because, oh man, look, Lamar's about to throw his 5th touchdown in a game. I'm just throwing out something random, but you see what I mean. That's how historic this is with baseball and what we're seeing with Aaron Judge. People complaining all the time. I can't believe they're interrupting this so we can watch Aaron Judge strike out. If that's why you want to spin it into something negative, that's cool, but it's a chance for you to witness history. I think it's pretty cool. But the big debate is, Barry Bonds, 73, in my opinion, is the regular season home run king. 73 home runs he hit back in 2000, of course, in one. And as we sit here today, everyone believes that because technically, Aaron Judge, if he hits number 62, he would be 6th all time in the regular season total list. But the only guys in front of him are Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, Barry Bonds, the three faces of the steroid era, at least from a hitting perspective from back in the day, of course. So we just kind of, well, not we, but the do-gooders just kind of, say, you know what, we out. They're not the real home run kings, blah, 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 move them out of the way. And here's Aaron Judge. I mean this in a way that Aaron Judge, this season's been beyond spectacular, especially for today's modern baseball, the way it's played. And guys missing games too much to play enough games to even be in contention for this is pretty impressive in today's day and age of baseball. So I think it's pretty, awesome. And the fact that it's in the middle of a contract year, he bet on himself. At the beginning of the season, he was offered a 7-year, $213 million contract extension. And you know what? Yeah, everyone thought that he was crazy for turning it down, and now he's going to make significantly more than a $213 million contract divided over 7 years. So it's pretty impressive. It's pretty cool. With all that being said, though, he is not the regular season home run king, even if he hits number 62. That is Barry Bonds, because until they physically go and take those off the books, it doesn't matter. I thought this comment was interesting, Kev, that Damon Hahn says that's like vacating wins away from college teams because of cheating. We all know who won.
Right.
We know who hit home runs. Bonds is a legend no matter what, and that time was fun in baseball. And this is fun watching Aaron Judge do it, but to act as if those guys don't exist, all while existing in the record books, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Absolutely. And another thing that these cut-ins and reminders about these big records that they're going to break, it gives credence to the past. It brings up the fact that Roger Maris was able to hit 61 home runs, and in a time where not only people didn't want him to break that record because the season got expanded, but even fans of the New York Yankees were rooting against him to break the record. So it's not like how today is, where everybody's rooting for you to break records. We all love nowadays to see records broken, but back in those days, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't the thing to do. So for him to break that record way back in the day, where technology and, being healthy and, being so health conscious and being a batter's batter wasn't a thing, for him to break that record back in those times, to be commended. So it's cool to bring up the fact that, like, okay, that record that was broken so long ago is finally being broken potentially by a modern athlete. So I think that gives a lot of credence to what Roger Maris was able to accomplish way back in the day.
518-1410, 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. Ron Broadstock also brings up a good point in his comment on Facebook. Ron Broadstock says Bonds was also facing pitchers on the juice as well, which is true. I mean, like we want to sit there and say that only hitters were on the juice and pitchers were not. That's not the case. Everyone was on it. Pitchers, probably managers, pitchers, managers, umpires, everyone was on it back then, right? Like, so if a juiced pitcher was going against a juiced hitter, doesn't it kind of cancel one another out? Doesn't it kind of neutralize it a little bit? Right now, you have clean hitters going up against, and honestly, we found out last year, I don't know why this wasn't more of a storyline last year. Pitchers are just as dirty. I think the pitchers are the new dirty players of our modern day baseball. They're the ones that, got mad because they got caught breaking the rules, putting all that goop on the ball, even though they were specifically told not to, then threw a hissy fit because, well, how else are we supposed to throw a breaking ball? Well, that's like a hitter saying, well, what do you mean we can't take steroids? How else are we supposed to hit a home run? I'm not going to sit here and let legends like Barry Bonds and others let their, legacies be tarnished, all while the soft little pansy pitchers, all right, want to sit there and just basically just have their entire hand covered in goop as they throw 1,000 miles per hour at these dudes' heads. I don't want to hear it. All right. That's a great point by Ron. There was juiced pitchers against juiced hitters. It basically canceled out. Now you have clean hitters against these cheating pansy pitchers, and that's basically where we're at now. They're the ones cheating. We ain't going to cancel them out, are we? Probably. I don't know. I don't know how you guys think nowadays. Bottom line is Barry Bonds, he's the regular season home run. He's still the home run king. I'm not even going to entertain anything else other than that. 518-1410. Kev, who we got?
Nick, line one.
Let's go to line one with Nick. Nick, how are you, sir? Welcome.
Good, man. You actually just were hitting on the point that I was going to bring up was, like, everybody, according to everybody, was using steroids in the steroids era, right? Because baseball didn't test against it, so we really don't know other than what we can, from the eye test tell us. And then we had Canseco's book who talked about everybody was doing it. So what I think is the thing is when you watch like the movie 61 and you hear about all the stories on how the Asterix really killed Maris and weighed on him, and the media talked about how they were so bad in doing this, but yet they're the first ones to quick and tarnish what McGuire and Sosa and Bonds really did for baseball at the time that they did, because they saved baseball. Let's be honest, right? That's why baseball didn't care that they were taking juice, because they saved baseball.
No, they saved baseball, and that's why, like, we as fans, it's not like, and keep in mind, it's not as if we as fans were watching these guys, were fans of these guys, went to bed one night, woke up, and found out they were cheating. For years, there were reports circulating that juice was rampant through baseball, right? We as fans knew, and we still tuned in, and we still cheered these guys as they were knocking the snot out of the ball and knocking them out of the ballpark. That's why all of us who were fans of the game back then, who sit here today with the holier than thou, oh, they're cheaters, but you enjoyed watching them cheat during that time. It doesn't make any sense. It's okay to think for yourself and not do the groupthink thing when it comes to how to judge and view baseball. Those guys were great for baseball. Baseball, as bad as it is now, would be even worse if it wasn't for what those guys did for the sport in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Well, it's funny you're talking about, because I remember interviews that they show Mark McGwire in his locker, and there'd be a big old container of androstenedione, which was at that time a legal supplement that McGwire was taking, that then they came back and said, oh, that's really real, that's really borderline a steroid, and we're now going to make that illegal. But at the time he was taking it, it was legal. It wasn't even considered a steroid, and it's right there in his locker for everybody to see as they're talking about how he hit 59 or 60, how he was going through his approach. But yet now it's, oh God, McGwire cheated. He still had to hit the ball, and he still had to do his thing. So I just find it interesting. To me, Aaron Judge will be the American League home run leader because all the other guys in front of him are in the National League. But you're right. To me, Bonds and always will be the home run king.
Hey, Nick, good stuff. I would let you keep talking, but you're probably going to have a horrible Bengals take that's going to make me want to hang up on you. So we should end while we're still friends.
I had all my fun at your expense yesterday. Facebook page, and watching you get all riled up and everything else. So
I got it out of my system.
We move on to next week, right?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm good for one good blow up every couple of weeks. So I got it out of my system.
I am going to say this. I am happy because I can't go to the game, but I will be able to listen to you now cover the Wayne game Friday. So I am ecstatic about that.
Well, thank you. We are looking for Wayne. I mean, we have a lot of good ADs in the area, but Wayne, the way they take care of us over there is one of the best. They do a good job. Fairmont, Wayne, a lot of great schools out there. We're excited for that matchup. Fairmont looks good too. I'm excited for this because both schools playing their best football right now.
Absolutely. And to me, it's get up on Fairmont, and hopefully they'll take care of it.
Yeah, nothing makes sense, though. Like, Fairmont beats Springfield, but Fairmont, I believe, didn't they lose to Northmont? Like, nothing makes any sense. All these teams, I mean, it's just all matchup-based, but it's just topsy-turvy, and it's all over.
Wayne's a Jekyll and Hyde. They start out like they look like, bad, and then they play up their what's off, and then they lose, and then they play the what's off. So it's interesting.
Yep. I mean, a couple weeks ago, they played Miamisburg. Miamisburg looked about as bad of a football team as I've seen in a while. And then they beat Northmont. They blow Northmont out. And they looked pretty good, this past week. Preston Barr, their quarterback's really good. Jackson McGowan. That was just a good game between them and Fairmont. So nonetheless. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to that Friday, too. So thank you.
Have a good one, sir.
Take care. 518-1410. So far, so good. Like even the stuff coming in on Facebook, I'm surprised for as many do-gooders that are roaming the streets right now. I'm not getting a whole lot of pushback on this idea that Kevin and I both agree that Barry Bonds still is still viewed in our eyes as the home run leader when it comes to the regular season home run leader and the all-time. I don't care what anyone says there either. 73 home runs back in 2001 is the real mark. We can be excited about what we're seeing from Aaron Judge, and we can try to frame it as this is the new home run record, but it's not. It's just not. It's just a very, very good season, one that we have not seen individually in quite some time. Kev, who we have up?
John, line 2.
Let's go to line 2 with John. John, welcome in, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you guys?
Not too bad. What you got for us?
So I know everybody's talking about the home runs with Judge, but I feel like it shouldn't be lost that he's also competing for a Triple Crown. I don't know if he's still leading in 3 of the categories, but that makes it an even more special season because the last guy to do, hit for a Triple Crown and win a home run race at the same time. I don't know that that's ever been done in the history of the sport. So
there's a graphic that came out like 2 weeks ago, like every major offensive statistical category that you could think of, he was number 1 in. Not 1 and 3 and 4 and 2. 1. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that is just a dominant season. And I think if it wasn't for the historic run finish to the career of Albert Pujols right now, even more eyes and ears would be on the storyline of Aaron Judge right now.
Absolutely. Totally agree with that. Does he still have a shot to win the Triple Crown too?
I'll have to look that up real quickly to give you an answer on that. I don't want to give you the wrong answer and pretend that I have that with me at the tip of my fingers here. But nonetheless, he cooled off for a bit, at least from a home run perspective. Like what? I think like before this week, the last 2 weeks, he had kind of really gone on a slump. I think the pressure of pursuing this home run record, of course, kind of got to him, but he finally kind of hit himself out of that. But either way, he's your MVP. I was all about Shohei Ohtani. I said, that dude is the MVP. There's nothing anyone else can do to change my mind. And then Aaron Judge just goes on this freaking tear, man. Like, it's been fun. It's been a fun season. Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, and Albert Pujols, for being a fan of a team that is just atrocious. They've made this season fun, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, I'm a Red Sox fan, so seeing a Yankee do it again cutting into me, and it makes me hurt. But the fact that it's a Yankee breaking a Yankee record, and he's going to set the record for the American League, I mean, that's poetic, just as a lot of things are in baseball, it seems to be, right?
Oh, man, no kidding. Finally, and this is like a very nostalgic season. I don't remember a season like this where players and teams that aren't mine have my interest in the sport. I think it's pretty exciting. So pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Hey, John, I appreciate hearing from you, man. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Have a nice day.
518-1410, 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. Of course, everyone's on home run number 62 watch right now. Aaron Judge has other numbers he's chasing as well. As we've been talking about, he has a Major League 61 home runs, which, heading into this past weekend and coming out of the weekend, I should say. But he's not just trying to break Roger Maris's American League and franchise record in these final games of the season. Judge is trying to push for that Triple Crown. And he's still in position to do that right now. But I feel like if he wasn't chasing this home run record, that this would be a much simpler task for him. But which one do you think means more? The Triple Crown or I think the Triple Crown should, just because of how rare that is. And honestly, I don't know if you hit number 62. That means that's the American League record, which I guess is huge. But to me, the home run record would mean more if it was the all-time regular season mark. And I don't care what anybody says. It's just not. That's Barry Bonds. So the Triple Crown to me, I think would mean a little bit more, right?
Yeah, Triple Crown, because you've already tied 61. So if you stay at 61 and you get the Triple Crown, I think that's a good consolation prize.
518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. Look at this. 36 minutes into the show. It's been all baseball talk. I haven't even talked about that bum Bengals team an hour south from here. I've been on my best behavior 36 minutes in. No. We'll talk NFL coming up. Kev Nash and I each and every Wednesday, or each and every Tuesday, as the regular, or as that week's worth of NFL games wraps up, we give you our top 10 coming right out of the week. And then we'll also hear from ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz just under an hour from now as well. More of the Justin Kinder Show with Kev Nash when we come back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Are you seeing the telomeres here? Come here, look at the scope.
Dr. Ocasio's lab startup just discovered a gene therapy breakthrough.
The cells have already doubled.
He needs a fleet of research assistants before this breakthrough breaks them.
We need lab techs, research assistants.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19? Then act fast with authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms begin. COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too by asking your healthcare provider if an oral treatment is right for you. Learn about a treatment option at treatcv19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
It's time for frickin' football. Frickers has a way to make this the winning season. Try a frickin' chicken taco, grilled chicken taco, or Mississippi barbecue taco for a limited time. Enjoy a 48-ounce personal pitcher of domestic draft beer.
I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
All the games of college and the NFL at the place that leads the way with inflation-busting prices, everyday values, and where kids eat free. The home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. Frickers.
Who
Day Nation, Betfred has come all the way from England to the great state of Ohio with over 50 years of sports betting experience. No emperors, no movie stars, just a sportsbook you can trust. The Betfred Sportsbook app will be available on January 1st, 2023. Until then, download the Bengals app or go to betfredsports.com and have a chance to win Bengals tickets and exclusive merchandise. Official sports betting partner of the Cincinnati Bengals. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
The Western Ohio Homebuilders Association invites you to the Fall Parade of Homes, Saturday and Sunday, October 15th and 16th, from noon to 4 p.m. each day. Presented by Minster Bank, this free event will feature 10 beautifully designed homes for you to tour in Miami, Shelby, and Darke County. Visit our website to see 5 additional virtual home tours. Whether you're in the market to build your dream home or remodel the home you already love, you are sure to find it at the Fall Parade of Homes. Visit us at poh.westernohiohba.com.
Have you heard? $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right. My friends at Cordell Transportation are now hiring Class A CDL drivers for home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight with brand new equipment, and offering a $5,000 sign-on bonus paid over 18 months, paid orientation, company 401k. Plus, they're now hiring recent truck driving school graduates. Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
Germain Honda Beaver Creek is your local Honda dealer. If you've been waiting to buy, now is the time. For a limited time, we have 22 Honda Passports and 22 Honda Pilots with financing as low as 1.9%, and 2022 Honda Ridgelines with financing as low as 2.9%. Remember, we can get the Honda you're looking for. We are taking deposits on current scheduled in-build new Hondas every day. See me, Sales Manager Jason High, for all the details. We're on Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek. Germain Honda Beaver Creek, the right car, the right price, the right way.
You have empty office space to fill or home office to create. You know what you need. You know what you'd like. But you also have a pretty good idea after you've shopped around the usual places what you need and what you like might not happen. Well, then you haven't been to Charles Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. Nobody has their selection. Nobody has their discounts. And every week, there's something new. If you need office furniture, Larrick's Warehouse Outlet can sell it to you for half the price and below manufacturer's selected prices. Half price and below on hundreds of items. Selection from budget to the best. Really, desks from $50 to $5,000. Filing cabinets from $25 to $500. Before you go anywhere else, do yourself a favor and come to Larrick's Warehouse Outlet. With 25,000 square feet of selection, you're not going to go anywhere else. Larrick's Warehouse Outlet at 23 McOil Avenue, Dayton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6. Larrick's, continuing the tradition.
I wanted to know why some people who get COVID-19 get it so bad. I found out it may be because they have a high risk factor, such as heart disease, diabetes, being overweight, smoking, and asthma. Even if symptoms feel mild, these factors can increase your risk of COVID-19 turning severe. So if you're at high risk and test positive, there are things you can do, like asking your healthcare provider if an authorized oral treatment is right for you. Learn about an option at treatcovid19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
Contractors and homeowners, do you have a project to do? Knock one out of the park this year and rent your equipment from Arts Rental Equipment. With over 50 years experience, Arts Rental has the best selection of equipment, including aerial lifts, skid steers, excavators, generators, saws, lawn and landscaping equipment, and so much more. Arts Rental can help you get the job done. Plus, Arts delivers too. For your next job or project, big or small, work smart. Rent from Arts.
Presented by Kentucky Fried Chicken $6 two-piece drum and thigh combo. Get tasty chicken, mashed potatoes, a biscuit, and a medium drink for just $6. Order now on the KFC app or at KFC.com. That's finger looking good.
Hey everybody, it's Stephen A. Smith, and everyone knows my feelings on Cowboys fans. But really, Justin Kenner, you're a Cowboys fan and a Browns fan? Good Lord have mercy. I don't know what the hell to do with y'all. I really don't.
It's the Justin Kenner Show with Kev Nash. Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. 518-1410. 2937 in front of that. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. Pittsburgh Steelers have announced that they're going to roll and continue to roll with, of course, Kenny Pickett as the starting quarterback for the Steelers heading in to this Sunday, Week 5 action, of course, of the NFL season. He stepped in to replace Mitch Trubisky in the middle of their loss against the Jets this past Sunday. So, of course, that's generated a lot of headlines as well. Dak Prescott, despite announcing that he was going to do everything in his power to play this week for the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones said don't rule him out, but I guess the announcement was made a little bit ago that he will not play and that the legend of Cooper Rush continues as he will be the starting quarterback for the Cowboys again this coming up week. So keep that in mind. Other news for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Ohio State's Trevion Henderson is expected to be back for the Michigan State game. And first of all, I'm just glad that he's back on the field. It wasn't a long-term injury, but my thing is in my end, we trust. Mayan Williams has just been lights out. And to have the depth that you could be missing a guy like Trevion Henderson and not really feel like you're out anything, and that's no disrespect towards him. That's just how good Mayan Williams has been this year. But regardless, we talked about this yesterday, the importance of this Buckeye team getting healthy, getting everyone back, because right now it's important to say, we don't need Trevion Henderson to beat Michigan State, but you need Trevion Henderson to be out on that field getting every week reps so that when we do get to the meat of the schedule where you're playing a more tough challenger in Penn State and obviously Michigan and whoever you maybe potentially run into in the playoff Big Ten title game, it's important to have those guys ready to go. You don't want the first game back for a lot of these guys to be Michigan. You don't want the first game back for a lot of these guys to be come the early January for the college football playoff or late December, right? So it's very important. I think it's a good thing. To me, it doesn't increase the chances that they beat Michigan State. I don't think anything tips that scale any more in their favor than what it already is. It's just good to see them back.
Absolutely. This is like we talked about yesterday, one of those good problems, but you're right. You don't want your first game back to be the most important games of the season. You want to be able to knock some of that rust off, get some of that timing with the quarterback, obviously the mesh routes with handoffs, and obviously everything that goes on with Jackson Smith and Jigba in the passing game. So, yeah, ease them back into playing so we can be hitting on full cylinders when we absolutely need them versus, Penn State, maybe even Maryland, and that team up north in the Big Ten championship game going into the college football playoff.
All right, 518-1410. Kev, who we got?
We got Jesse.
Jesse. Is this the Jesse?
The one, the only.
This is the Jesse. What's going on, fellas?
I missed you. I haven't seen you in like a whole 24 hours, man.
I know. I was looking for you today, but I'll tell you, short guys are elusive.
I know. Quick.
Yeah, very, very much so. I'm glad you got your quota in on baseball talk for the week.
No
can
kidding,
we talk
right?
about some football?
We could talk football unless you're gonna, get my blood pressure up like yesterday. Ann Anderson should be happy. She yelled at me last week because I wasn't talking baseball. We just did a whole hour of it.
Hey, we should be good for a week now.
Pretty much. Well, the Guardians being actually a wild card series starts October 7th through the 9th. So yes, we're getting closer to that.
Just waiting on the time.
I got you. Well, I remember yesterday I called in. I talked about somebody saying the AFC North was trash, if you recall. And today I was looking at various sport entities, and all I kept seeing was how they were saying the NFC East was a beast. And I have to take a big issue with that. But the NFC East is all of a sudden a beast, and they've been trashed for all these years, and they're putting down the AFC North. Like, if you had to say your top three divisions in football, I would go AFC West, AFC North, NFC West. I mean, we're really putting the NFC East up there right now.
Well, right now, I think you can argue that the AFC East might be, if the worst team in that division is the Patriots and the Jets look, they're 2-2 right now. What the Bills are off to a hot start. The Dolphins really good. Patriots aren't the worst team in the world, but they're the worst team in that division. The thing is, all the conferences you talked about, the North is playing poorly right now. The West is playing poorly. Both Wests are playing poorly. The NFC East is playing. They're playing winning football right now, but I wouldn't put any money. I guess the Eagles are tipping the scale in that. The Cowboys have been interesting because they've won with Cooper Rush, but it doesn't change the fact that I don't trust that offense in big games down the stretch. Cooper Rush has been an interesting storyline. I don't know how legitimate they are. And the Giants, we're gonna crown them just because they haven't been as bad as Giants teams in the past. I don't know where I'm at with the Giants either, although it has been fun watching Saquon Barkley play healthy football for a change.
Well, right now it seems like we're talking about 3-1 teams and 2-2 teams. Now, who would be your top three divisions, let's say at the end of the year? Who do you think will be the top three divisions?
The top three divisions at the end of the AFC West has to figure it out, right, Kev? Like they have to figure it out. I mean, you have Justin Herbert, you have obviously Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson. There's no way in a division with those quarterbacks, if Derek Carr's your worst quarterback, that's a pretty good division. I just don't get how all those teams just can't figure it out. The Chiefs look solid right now, but the others are, the Chargers banged up. I don't know how that can't be the best one in football.
I agree. You want to talk about the Reds for a little bit, or are we good on that?
I thought you said I got my baseball quota in. Let's hear what you got to say about the Reds.
I'm good on that. Hey, I appreciate y'all. I'll talk to you later.
Adios, Justin. Take care. 518-1410. He asked a good question. I don't know who the best division in football is right now. The thing is, I don't know if it's parity or just a lot more bad football than we had anticipated. I don't think anyone has ran away with this. We're going to talk about our top 10 coming up here in about 12 minutes from now. Kevin and I give you our NFL top 10 each and every Tuesday as the Monday Night Football game wraps up and puts an explanation point on the previous week's NFL season week, I should say. But in the AFC East, you can make an argument that they look. They have the Super Bowl contender in the Bills, the Dolphins. Right now have an explosive offense, but there's just a lot of question marks now with what's up for Tua.
Yeah.
You don't know how long he's going to be out. And the Jets can't get a good feel. They're not a good football team. They're not a bad football team. They're just a below average football team, if you will. And the Patriots are the Patriots because they have Bill Belichick. The AFC South is worse than we thought because Houston's as bad as we thought they would be. The Colts took a major step back. The Jaguars, they look about like what we thought. Solid, good quarterback play, a lot more composed under Doug Peterson. And then the Titans took a step back. I don't know what to make of them. The West and the North, the two strongest divisions in football, in my opinion, have not played well to start the season. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely the AFC North had a terrible week. I think last week, this time we were talking about how good the AFC North was because the Browns that came off a victory, the Ravens coming off a victory, the Bengals finally getting off the schneid and everything like that. Everybody was hype on the AFC North. And then this week happens where the only team to get a victory is the Cincinnati Bengals. And it's not only the way that the teams in the AFC North lost, they lost leads in the fourth quarter. Every team in the AFC North was leading in the fourth quarter and lost those games. Steelers were up 10, lost. Baltimore Ravens were up 3, lost. The Browns eventually got up 3, but still lost. So it's one of those situations where when your entire division has a bad week, everybody's going to look at you at the stank eye. And then you look at that NFC West, I believe everybody's 2-2 out there. Yep. Everybody. And we were talking about like
the AFC
in NFC West 2-2.
NFC West, yes, 2-2. So they said the AFC. So yes, the NFC, everyone's 2-2.
So like those are supposed to be two of the best divisions battling it out for second next to the AFC West, and both of them are looking like what's going on. I think it just really speaks to the fact that injuries play a big part of these games, and this is exactly how the NFL wants it. You don't know what's going to happen week to week. Everybody and their mom had their money on the Browns beating the Atlanta Falcons. And what happened? I can't believe how many people out there probably lost their wad in an eliminator betting on the Browns this week versus the Falcons. How many teams lost the week before that with Kansas City Chiefs over the Colts? Like, this is the NFL. You have no idea what's going to happen. Upsets happen, quote unquote, all the time.
AFC East, again, 2-3 win teams there. Dolphins and Bills both at 3-1. The Jets at 2-2. And how about the New England Patriots in dead last at 1-3?
Losers.
And then you have 3 2-2 teams in the AFC North, the Browns, the Bengals, and the Ravens. And then the Steelers down there at the bottom at 1-3 as well. And then the Jags and the Titans at 2-2, the Colts 1-2, and 1-2-1, and then the Texans have yet to win a game so far, 0-3-1 as well. As far as the AFC West, 3-1 Kansas City Chiefs, Chargers 2-2, they're just banged up. Their offensive line has a couple guys out due to injury. Bosa's out for quite a few weeks due to injury. Herbert's playing with busted ribs. They haven't looked as explosive as they did the first couple of weeks since getting banged up. But right now it's just too close to tell. The Chargers will be playing at the Browns this Sunday.
You're going to that game.
Yes. So I'm hoping those injuries do play a role on the Chargers. And the Broncos just haven't been able to get anything going since acquiring Russell Wilson. Very weird team to figure out. They're 2-2, but have a -2 score differential, point differential in the season. And then the Raiders, who got their first win. Jason Fitz, a big Raiders fan. I'm sure he'll be excited to talk about his team picking up a first win of the season this past weekend. But is the NFC East the best division in football right now? The Giants 3-1, the Cowboys 3-1, the Eagles 4-0.
AFC West.
But right
Patrick
now,
Mahomes.
that's fine. But right now, it's not Jalen Hurts, but the Eagles. I think the Eagles are the most complete team in football.
Oh, I like the Eagles. I like Jalen Hurts, and I like their defense. I like their running game, and I love all the weapons that they have. I would just take the Kansas City Chiefs over every team in the NFC East. I would take the Chargers over every team in the NFC East, and then we'll take a team from the NFC East. We'll have the Eagles coming in third, I believe.
So right now, and again, I don't really care about a playoff picture because we're 4 games in. But to give you an idea of like really kind of how this how this works right now, when you talk playoffs and you talk about how this works, again, 7 teams from each side. We've talked about, man, in the AFC, there's going to be some teams that we looked at as contenders coming into the season that will miss the playoffs. And right now, if you would have told me that right now, if the playoffs started today, there'd be no Lamar Jackson in the Baltimore Ravens. There'd be no Justin Herbert in the Chargers. There'd be no Russell Wilson in the Denver Broncos, and there would be no Matt Ryan in the Colts, which doesn't sound that crazy when you see how poor these teams have all played right now. But, I mean, coming into the season, right. Baltimore, man, they're getting everyone back there healthy, right? The Chargers, Justin Herbert, they're supposed to be the Bengals of 2022, a team that didn't make the playoffs the season before, Super Bowl contenders the next season. Denver Broncos, everyone just said they got Russell Wilson, they're Super Bowl favorites right off the bat. That hasn't transpired as well. And then the Colts, they've been playing hot potato at quarterback for quite a few years now. I liked Matt Ryan a lot, but Matt Ryan's definitely not the problem when it comes to this Colts team. They have a lot of issues, but the Dolphins, number 1 team in the AFC as we currently sit here. But the NFC, I mean, I think this sounds about right. I mean, there's not one team that's not in the playoff picture that we expected to be in the playoff picture. I mean, when you talk about the Eagles, the Vikings, the Buccaneers, the Niners, the Cowboys, the Giants, the Packers, and the Rams, I think maybe the Giants are a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
The Cardinals not being in the mix is kind of a surprise right now, but the Bears, Carolina, everyone, I was high on Carolina. I was expecting more to Baker Mayfield. That has been a total flop. But nonetheless, that's been kind of the more intriguing storylines between both the AFC and NFC. So we'll see what happens. All right. It's the Justin Kidder Show with Kev Nash, 518-1410, 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. Ron Broadstock. He goes, what do you think about the delusion Dolphins fans are What do you think about the delusion Dolphins fans are going through, making us Bengals fans seem quite reasonable? I think the only reason the Bengals won is because Tua went out. I mean, there's no way that the Dolphins are only scoring 15 points if Tua stays in that ballgame. That's just me. I don't think they're that delusional at all. I think they're probably freaking out because the Dolphins are a very, very good football team, and now they're not going to be a very, very good football team with Tua out. Tua made enough big plays, not just against the Bengals, but against all the previous opponents to make them who they are right now, and I think they're taking a major step back. So there you go. Brandon Kelty. Kinner, you picked Carolina to win the NFC South. Brandon, super. I'm sure you picked the Bengals to start the season 2-0. I don't know why people say stupid things like that. I'm pretty sure he had the Bengals starting the season out 2-0. So what's your point? What's your point? We all have takes coming into the season. Some we hit on, some we don't. Don't start, Brandon. I hate Bengals fans. I'm telling you. They're the absolute worst. Oh, I think the delusional Dolphins are the delusional Dolphins fans. That fan base has the right to be cocky right now. They knew they'd beat you if their quarterback didn't go out with an injury. We'll be right back. And by the way, that's the team that beat Lamar, that obviously beat Josh Allen and was well on their way to beating Joe Burrow too. But luck keeps falling in your way. Backup quarterback after backup quarterback. Man, I hope Lamar doesn't trip and fall this week. Starting quarterback, first time this season, the Bengals will play one. How about that?
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Hi, I'm Emmitt Smith, Hall of Famer and all-time leading rusher with exciting news.
If you suffer from chronic joint pain, Emmitt Smith wants to introduce you to QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in biologic treatment for pain. I'm talking regenerative solutions that encourage your body to heal and repair itself. No medications, no surgeries, no downtime.
If you have pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders, don't assume the old treatments are the only treatments. Learn more about how you can get lasting relief with biologic treatments that can repair and restore damaged tissue.
Call to learn more about this exciting natural way to deal with chronic joint pain. Play golf without pain, walk upstairs without pain, play with your kids and grandkids without pain, get back on your job without pain, live your life pain-free. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
This is Doug Ute, Executive Director of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. High school coaches can be the biggest influence on kids having a positive experience in sports. Sports set the foundation for life lessons that remain long after playing days are over.
This is Gene Smith. Please join Life Sports at The Ohio State University and the Ohio High School Athletic Association as we partner with the Susan Crown Exchange on its Million Coaches Challenge. Get involved and learn more at go.osu.edu/CoachBeyond.
My dad has a cold, but also has high blood pressure. That's why I got him Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure for fast, powerful nighttime relief. Unlike some ordinary cold medicines, it's specially formulated for people like my dad. NyQuil High Blood Pressure is sugar-free, alcohol-free, and decongestant-free.
Vicks NyQuil High Blood Pressure. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, cold, and flu for people with high blood pressure.
Like my dad.
Medicine. Use as directed.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
It's time for frickin' football. Frickers has a way to make this the winning season. Try a frickin' chicken taco, grilled chicken taco, or Mississippi barbecue taco for a limited time. Enjoy a 48-ounce personal pitcher of domestic draft beer.
I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
All the games of college and the NFL at the place that leads the way with inflation-busting prices, everyday values, and where kids eat free. The home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. Frickers.
Wendy's new homestyle French toast sticks are so good, some are saying they're better than their moms. Perfectly crispy, perfectly golden brown. Try Wendy's new homestyle French toast sticks today and see if they're better than your mom's.
WING 1410 Dayton. Dayton's ESPN Radio.
How about my guy Jimmy G last night? Porn star Jimmy. Telling you, man, like he's not the best quarterback in the NFL, but they just win when he's out there. But I'm not saying they're undefeated, but they don't win when he's not there. I don't know why you continue with the smart ass looks every time. Like the proof is there. The proof is there. Like,
yeah, the proof is there.
The proof is what? The guy that takes teams to the Super Bowl, to the NFC title game, that wins football games, wins divisions.
Okay.
God, you're the fan of a crap ass team that, I mean, my God.
Easy, Tiger. Easy.
I mean, my God.
Easy.
What does Jimmy G have to do?
Okay. You can have him. I'm good. I'm good.
sure
I'd rather
good.
have a
You're a
quarterback
quarterback.
that opens their eyes when they throw a pass or knows where the back of the end zone is. And then the fact that you try to give him credit for some of these victories that the team has had is
the
just
team has had that the team doesn't have when he's not there. They don't win when he's not there. They win when he's there. I don't know what's so hard to understand about how football works. You win, you lose. You win with them, you lose without them. It's that simple. I mean,
you can have them along with Baker Mayfield.
That's fine. Look at your team. You don't even know what the hell a quarterback is.
After 20 years, you're going to get it wrong eventually.
And after, hopefully you just, Ryan Strong says, can't believe the Rams lost to a backup quarterback. I know the Rams did their best Bengals impersonation last night. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Actually, the Bengals lost to him last year too, Jimmy G. Just saying. All right, 518-1410. That's the number to call and jump in on the conversation. Of course, right now, as we kick things off here at the top of the hour, we'll have ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz coming up, by the way, about half hour, just under half hour from now. But our NFL top 10 every Tuesday, of course, is the NFL season for the week before, or the NFL season, the NFL week, as week 4 wrapped up. 4 weeks into the season, we are officially 1 month in. Used to say we're a quarter in. Damn 17-game regular season really throws that all off. But Kev Nash, will start with you. Kev Nash's top 10. Here it is for those watching live on Facebook and watching live on YouTube. Kev Nash's top 10. Take it from here.
The Dallas Cowboys come in at number 10. Got to give a lot of props to the Dallas Cowboys. Got to give a lot of Coach McCarthy a lot of credit. I gave him a little credit on Monday. Let me continue to give him credit today. They are winning games with their backup quarterback, Cooper Rush. And I said this on Twitter that Cooper Rush, 2 of these things are going to happen to him this offseason. He's going to get paid, and he's either going to be the quarterback of the Colts or the Washington Commanders by next season. Kudos to Cooper Rush on the way he's been playing, and kudos to the Cowboys getting my number 10 spot. Number 9, your beloved Cincinnati Bengals. All white uniforms came in handy on Thursday night. They won the game. They're 2-2. They're back into the mix. It looks like the offense is clicking. Only 1 sack given up by that offensive line. Looking like the Bengals are getting back on track. They got my number 9 spot. Number 8, the Minnesota Vikings. They probably should be higher. I'm a little biased. I'm not a big Kirk Cousins fan, but I got to give a lot of credit where credit is due. I'm giving credit where credit is due with Kirk Cousins. Engineered 2 come from behind victories. This one was over in London. They were able to get it done out there. So got to give Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings a lot of props. Coming in at number 7 for me, the Green Bay Packers. Look, the offense is sputtering. It's not looking so high powered and high flying and everything like that. But Aaron Rodgers, and more importantly, that defense in the run game is getting it done for the Green Bay Packers. Number 6 for me, the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know why we only use this phrase that he's an offensive genius. He's an offensive genius. They're winning off the strength of DeMeco Ryans in that defense. That defense was smothering last night on Monday Night Football, put a lot of pressure, and they actually blitzed a ton, something that the San Francisco 49ers rarely do. DeMeco Ryans, the defensive coordinator of the Niners, really got after the Rams, sacked Matthew Stafford a ton, and that big pick 6 on that screen was just a big-time play by the cornerback from the Niners. So I got them coming in at number 6. Jumping up a lot of spots is I almost called them San Diego, but the Los Angeles Chargers. You know, everybody's talking about how banged up Herbert is. Well, guess what? He wasn't so banged up on Sunday where he gave me 24 points in my fantasy football, and I appreciate you, Justin Herbert. Cracked ribs and all, they still were able to get it done. I know they're super banged up, but I really believe that offensively, they're making those strides in the right direction. And more importantly, they're not going super analytical. They're actually kicking field goals to get points on the board, and that's helping them win games. So kudos to not only the Chargers, but the head coach for doing some smart things on the offensive side of the ball by getting points when they're there to get. Number 4 for me was last week's number 1 team, the Dolphins. They jumped from number 1 to number 4. Look, Tua's that head injury that he's dealing with, the concussion and everything like that. Who knows what would have happened if he was able to play that full game versus Cincinnati Bengals. Maybe they would be undefeated still, but they're not. So they fall back to number 4. Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, what can you say about Patrick Mahomes on Monday Night Football? He went full Trey Young on him. Spin move, floater, touchdowns on him. It was an outstanding performance by that offense. They jumped out early, and it was all she wrote. I know a lot of people wanted to look at the final score. Look, they were milking the clock starting in the third quarter. The Kansas City Chiefs were on Sunday Night Football. Number 2 for me, the only undefeated team in the NFL, those Philadelphia Eagles, KB's Philadelphia Eagles coming in at the number 2 spot. Big time victory in a game that they were down 14-0 to start off and ultimately end up coming back to win that game. Jalen Hurts, everybody's raving about his performance, but let's not forget that defense is still nasty for the Philadelphia Eagles. And number one, the Buffalo Bills. They got to have the number one spot. Some of the victories that they had this season, look, they were down 20-0 at the Ravens, and they come back and win that game. You know, a lot of people are talking about how Harbaugh is too over analytical, hand raised to this guy, myself included. But you got to give the other team a lot of credit because they were given a chance and they took a chance and they got that chance and they took a full advantage of that opportunity that they got. They could have kicked the field goal, the Ravens that is, and took the lead. But guess what? The Bills made the play, got the interception, which gave them more room. Instead of starting at the 1 yard line, they were starting at the 20, which made it a lot easier for them to drive down the field. So the Buffalo Bills made plays, and then they were able to capitalize and get that victory over the Ravens. So they still got my number one spot, where they're at the number one spot now.
All right, if you're just tuning in, Justin Kinner, Kev Nash with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio, giving you our NFL Top 10. We'll open up the phone lines here as soon as we're done, then we'll take your Top 10, 518-1410. Get in on the conversation that way. So that was Kev Nash's Top 10. Here's my Top 10. Coming in at number 10, I still have the Browns coming in at number 10, and mainly because if they would have lost that game with Myles Garrett and with a good chunk of their defensive line, and then I have no excuse. But right now, the Browns still come in right. And as much as I can't stand Joe Woods, and as much as I'm not a fan of the defense, they still they come in at number 9 as far as giving up the least amount of yards on the season. Again, that bend they do break from time to time. That is what's frustrating when it comes to the Browns. But offensively, Pro Football Focus, who of course I'm always have a love-hate relationship with, the most, what's fascinating to me is the top-graded offense through 4 weeks is the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, a well-rounded offense. It's not an elite pass game, but it's an elite run game, and they have the best offensive line, the best run game, and have a quarterback who moves the ball very well between the 20s. They struggle in the red zone. But again, if that defensive line is how, this isn't even a Deshaun Watson thing. This is a 3-1 football team and a very efficient offensive team with or without Deshaun Watson at this point. They lost that game, not because of any other reason except not having their entire defensive line. I saw this past weekend. What was it? It was Tommy Togiai right now, by the way. He's currently 126th ranked defensive tackle out of
OH
126.
Go Buckeyes.
Not bad. Jordan Elliott, the other guy that played that defense, he's ranked 125 out of 126. The Browns have the 2 worst defensive linemen playing this past week on that defensive line. That's why it's not that hard to figure out. So I have the Browns coming in at number 10. They're a 3-1 football team. Don't care what any of y'all say. Whatever. The Bucs come in at number 9.
Just because you say it doesn't make it true.
No, it does, because like common sense tells you they don't lose that game if they have their defensive linemen. It is what it is. So no, I'm not forgiving them for that Jets loss, because they had that with their best defenders on that field, but they beat the Falcons. I mean,
they're 3-1.
They're not a 2. I don't care. They lost that game. Yes. Keep laughing. That's fine. I mean, it is what it is. What's that? I mean, I can't hear you. What's going on right now? What's that? Oh, with the first pick in the 2023 NFL draft.
That's in the future. We're talking about right here, right now.
Crap-ass Pittsburgh Steelers select.
It doesn't matter to me
because they love Mitch Trubisky.
It doesn't matter to me. The fact that you're saying that they're 3-1, but their record clearly says that they're 2-2.
Oh, they're 2-2. That's fine. And the Bucs I have coming in at number 9, and they're a 2-2 football team, and that's a team as well that's banged up with injuries. And I still have them in the top 10. The Packers I moved into number 8 at this point, mainly because that's one of the few teams I've seen from week 1 all the way to week 4 that they're actually improving. I thought they looked horrible in week 1. They showed zero improvement. There's teams that have shown zero improvement since then, but from week 1 to now, to see Aaron Rodgers and even the pass game just get more settled in, they're more comfortable. I like what Aaron Rodgers is doing without the lack of help at wide receiver. Starting to see them gel offensively, really relying on that run game, and I think the Packers defense has been a difference maker as well. I was not expecting them to look as good as they did this past weekend. I have the Packers at number 8. The Vikings are 3-1. I like Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is one of those quarterbacks that is, as you're finding, it's tough to find a quarterback. I think a lot of teams out there would kill to have a Kirk Cousins at this point. They'd kill to have a Jimmy Garoppolo at this point. I'm just throwing that out there. But
last week you said you were off the Jimmy
last
chain.
Place is all I heard you say. So the Vikings 3-1. And that offense is explosive. They have a good quarterback, elite weapons, and a solid offensive line, and the defense is another reason why they've had such a hot start to the season. Speaking of defense, the Dallas Cowboys, I know we're all talking about Cooper Rush and how Cooper Rush, the most impressive thing he's done outside of going undefeated as a starting quarterback in the NFL, the most impressive thing he has done is not turn the ball over. He has thrown 0 interceptions. He does not turn the ball over. He does exactly what is asked of him. They rely on the run game. They make just enough plays in the pass game. He's basically Jacoby Brissett, just doesn't turn it over. Jacoby Brissett's been fine for the Browns. He just keeps throwing these damn interceptions late in these close games. I like what he's done, but it's been the defense. We talked about the weapons they lost on offense and some of the key pieces on defense they lost, but man, they have one of the top secondary pieces. They have a great pass rusher. Micah Parsons has been fantastic, so I have the Cowboys coming in at number 6. And the 49ers I have at number 5 because of my God, Jimmy G. I like Jimmy G. No, I have them there because, for one, they just look like the team that they were last year, which was a very dangerous football team, very capable on offense, but just as lethal defensively. And plus, they have a lot of team chemistry on both sides of the ball. There was going to be a lot of feeling out with Trey Lance at quarterback, who may have a higher ceiling if he could just stay out on that field than Jimmy G. But for right now, 49ers, you know what you get with them. You know what their offense is. You know what their defense is. I have them at number 5. That was a huge win for them last night on Monday Night Football. I'm keeping the Dolphins in the top 5. I have them at number 4. They were still playing very good football against the Cincinnati Bengals with Tua. This is a team that beat the Ravens and the Bills in back-to-back weeks, and I believe would have beat the Cincinnati Bengals at the Cincinnati Bengals had Tua not gone out with an injury after that dirty hit from the Cincinnati Bengals. Just joking, but I did see someone post in the comment section, Dolphins fans saying it was a dirty hit. It was not a dirty hit. There was a dude playing with an injury that was susceptible to furthering that injury. That's really all that happened. It was not a dirty hit. I'll defend the Bengals on that. The Eagles I have coming in at number 3, mainly because the two teams I have ahead of them have better quarterbacks. I trust the Chiefs with their deficiencies. I still trust more just because they have Patrick Mahomes. The Bills, they're so up and down sometimes, but they've been one of the more dominant teams to start. I have them at number 2. Although the Eagles are undefeated, the Eagles look solid. The Eagles, I'll always have doubt in the back of my head until I see a few more games from Jalen Hurts. I trust the Bills and their quarterback, of course, with Josh Allen, and the Chiefs at number 1. I have mainly there because of Patrick Mahomes. Browns 10, Bucks 9, Packers 8, Vikings 7, Cowboys 6. And at 5, I have the Niners, 4 Dolphins, 3 Eagles, 2 Bills, and 1 the Kansas City Chiefs. That is my top 10. Obviously, mine and Kev's are 2 different top 10s. Do you have the right one? And then Kev's.
I mean, you could look at it like that. I was going to actually give you some credit for giving us a little bit of love to the Green Bay Packers, but you like to keep the pot stirring even with me.
I kept the Packers there. The Packers are good. I didn't have them in my top 10 last week.
I know. That's why I say I was going to give you props for putting them in there, but you want to keep the pot going. Okay, we can keep the pot going a little bit.
First of all, I've not smoked today, so I don't know what the pot has anything to do with anything right now. Will says, hey, Kev, Steelers are 2-2. We beat the Jets with TJ Watt and Mink on the field on that last drive. LOL. Hey, Will. All right, get ready, Ohio. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, is coming to the Buckeye State. And to kick things off, you can get started with $100 in free bets as an early sign-up bonus. Plus, when you sign up today with my promo code Kinner, KINNER, you'll be all set for when FanDuel goes live in Ohio. Then you can bet on all of your favorite teams and all of your favorite sports with $100 in free bets. And all you got to do is use my promo code Kinner, KINNER. Download FanDuel's top-rated sportsbook app. It's safe, it's secure, and super easy to use. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. And the one piece of sports betting advice I have for you, if I pick a team, pick the opposite team.
How'd you do on your picks on Sunday?
I'm doing fine. I think I'm like 5th right now for the season. But as far as the 3, I would try to go Mr. FanDuel over the weekend and give out my 3 picks. 0 for 3. I try to get cute with that. I try to pick the Jags or the upset.
That wasn't a bad pick. I know you were hyped when they were up 14-0.
Oh, yeah. Keith about came across the table at Frickers when I told him.
When that pick 6.
Oh, yeah. But then I picked Justin Fields and the Bears over the Giants. That didn't work out. And now, the record shows the Browns lost, but I technically was 1 for 3 based on my logic.
Where are you at in KB's eliminator pool? Are you still alive?
I got eliminated a few weeks ago.
Weeks ago, it just started.
And the Browns lost to the Jets. That's what I told you. My advice was never bet for your team. Don't bet your team to win. Always bet against your team. If I would have picked the Falcons yesterday or Sunday, I would have been furious that my team lost, but I would have been happy that I was still in the running to make money. Always bet against your team. Always. That from here on out, the theme of the show, always bet against your team. If you bet against your team this week, Ohio State, Michigan State, bet on Michigan State to win. All right, because that way, if Michigan State loses, great. The Buckeyes won. You're happy. Your team won. And if Michigan State wins, you're probably going to make some serious dough, though, to be quite honest with you, because I don't know what the line is. But
I was just about to
you'll
check
probably
that.
make some change, but nonetheless. So Brandon Kelty said he's 0 for 4 on his parlay. Well, Brandon, it's because you know nothing about football. You're a Bengals. No, I'm just joking. I can't really judge anyone on their picks. It's all, it's gambling.
Exactly. 26.5.
26.5. Whew, okay. Yeah, that's quite that, By the way, I never picked Michigan State to win, but sometimes I try to guess the score, between 14 and 16-point loss or something along those lines. So there you go.
Cover.
Yeah. So
cover.
Again, use my promo code Kinner, KINNER, and download the FanDuel app right now and get registered so you can get $100 in free bets so that when we go live in January, boom, you already got $100 there waiting for you to go hopefully do better than me and actually win some bets. All right, we'll step away for a few moments. We have ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz coming up around the corner as well. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. Browns 3-1.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The mid-afternoon and early evening will be clear and sunny, a high near 72. Tonight's going to be mainly clear, a low near 45, and tomorrow's going to be clear and sunny, a high near 76. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
According to labor statistics, there are over 37,000 jobs in the Dayton region going unfilled. Many are good-paying jobs, essential to our society, that do not require a college degree. Find the career path that's right for you and your bank account. Go to BeTheEssential.com. There you'll find links to trade schools and career tech centers that can train you in a fraction of the time and cost. It's also where you'll find caring companies willing to provide a fulfilling career that can last a lifetime. Find your future, not just a job. Go to BeTheEssential.com.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Are you seeing the telomeres here? Come here, look at the scope.
Dr. Ocasio's lab startup just discovered a gene therapy breakthrough.
The cells have already doubled.
He needs a fleet of research assistants before this breakthrough breaks them.
We need lab techs, research assistants.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Today on Hey Culligan, reverse to reduce. Here's Bob.
Hey Culligan, I love fresh water, but I got plastic bottles coming out.
Whoa, Bob, you are not kidding about the bottles. But did you know Culligan's reverse osmosis and always-on drinking water systems provide fresh, clean, delicious drinking water and help reduce the
Butch's Coffee. For EJ's Sandwich Shop. For Springfield Family Dental.
Every day, Staples helps every kind of small business create bold signs that sing. And now get $10 off custom signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. Ends 12/31. Visit staplesconnect.com/thisisyoursign for details.
when he turned to the non-surgical regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics.
It was really fascinating how they did their work, and the science behind it was very intriguing, and it works. Extracting the cure out of my own body blew my mind. It's like I'm brand new again. It was fantastic.
That's because the QC Kinetics natural biologic treatments use your body's own healing power to restore damaged tissue in your hips, shoulders, back, and knees, providing long-lasting relief.
Now I'm back at the gym. I'm 100% feeling great.
If you're tired of suffering with pain from arthritis or injury, call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics 937-936-0325. That's 937-936-0325. 937-936-0325.
Whether you're at home, at work, or in your car, tune in to ESPN 1410 Wing AM or stream us live at wingam.com.
Comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. Time for that winning word, Kinner's Cash contest. I'll be giving out $2,000 of my money each and every day for the next couple of weeks. 10 times a day, you have an opportunity to be listening out for, of course, that winning word. When you hear that winning word, you'll enter it at wingam.com. The winning word here for the 4 o'clock hour is call, C-A-L-L. That's simple. That's simple. C-A-L-L. Enter it at wingam.com. Giving away not just $1,000, but $2,000 each and every day. And all you have to do is be listening out for that winning word. Every once an hour, starting at 8 a.m. all the way through 5 p.m. We'll be giving out that winning word, and you'll take that winning word, enter it at wingam.com. I don't know if I've said that or not, but I figure, never say it too many times. Wingam.com. Head there now. Enter the winning word call for your chance to win not one, but 2,000 doll hairs. It's the Kinner's Cash contest. We'll step away for a few moments. When we come back, ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz. His Raiders got a big win out of the AFC West, of course, and the AFC North. Well, all but one team got a loss thanks to a quarterback going down. Of course, this past Thursday. I'm sorry. All the 3 of the 4 teams got a loss, and I'm bitter about it. I'm a big Steelers fan, apparently. But nonetheless, we'll be right back. ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz next.
Oh, man.
Here comes the money.
Go, Jimmy.
The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Presented by Brad Mays with Home Experts Realty. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on 1410 ESPN Radio.
Do you enjoy sports betting and fantasy sports? If so, it's important to know that gambling's not a way to pay bills or earn income. Learn how to set limits and recognize the warning signs for problem gambling by visiting beforeyoubet.org. You can also assess your risk by taking the responsible gambling quiz. Beforeyoubet.org provides free resources to help keep gambling safe and fun for Ohioans. Be a fan with a plan this season and go to beforeyoubet.org to learn more.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Service Manager at Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, recipient of Honda's President's Award. When your vehicle needs service, we make it convenient. Open 6 days a week, including all day Saturday. We also welcome same-day appointments and walk-ins as well. Our technicians are factory trained, and we offer a new state-of-the-art facility, clean waiting rooms, loaner cars, and free alignment checks as well. Ask for the $99.95 alignment special. Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, Route 35, just east of 675 between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
The Kinner's Cash contest is a company-wide contest for your chance to win $2,000 daily. No purchase necessary to enter or win. You will receive an email confirming entry. One winner will be chosen for each day. Contest is open to U.S. residents 18 years or older. Contest is sponsored by participating Alpha Media stations, audience or their parents, subsidiary and affiliated entities, advertising agencies, promotional partners, and members of families or households are not eligible to enter or win. Odds of winning depend on number of entries received. Contest is subject to all applicable federal, state, and local laws and regulations. Void where prohibited. Participants must sign all contest release and waiver forms to be eligible to win the prize. The contest begins on Monday, October 3rd and ends on Friday, October 21st, 2022. To participate in the contest, you must listen to the participating radio station at the specified times and enter the word that wins at wingam.com. Contest sponsors are not responsible for technical failures or malfunctions of any kind. For full contest rules, please visit wingam.com. Decisions of station management with respect to the contest are final.
What did 9 out of 10 people who died from COVID have in common?
They were 50 or older.
And if you have a condition like heart disease or diabetes, your risk is even higher.
COVID vaccines lower the risk of death.
Get your updated vaccine now. It could save your life.
We can do this. Find updated COVID vaccines at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Get what you want and pay over time when you use your Lowe's Advantage Card. Now through October 26, 2022. Ask for 0% APR with 36 fixed monthly payments on a product installation or appliance purchase of $1,000 or more. Shop for the appliances you want in-store or online. Or go to the store nearest you for installation. Now at Lowe's. Offer subject to credit approval. Minimum monthly payments required. See store Lowe's.com for details. U.S. only.
Yo, Pablo Torre here, host of the ESPN Daily Podcast. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Pablo Torre. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Thinking about gas mileage. A bottle of Gum Out Fuel Injector Cleaner can clean your entire system and help your engine get more MPGs. Right now, you can get 2 bottles for only $7. A great deal to help you go a good deal farther. Find Gum Out Fuel Injector Cleaner and everything you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,200 stores.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on 1410 ESPN Radio. William Yelly on Facebook, Kev. He says the Browns should be 4-0, but the Browns is the Browns, and they choked it up against Flacco and Mariota. Yikes. Do y'all even watch the games? Choked it up against Mariota. The dude completed 7 damn passes, choked it against Mariota. 75-yard touchdown drive. 10 plays, 75 yards, not one pass attempt. Never seen anything like it unless it's on Friday night calling high school football. That's how bad the Browns' defensive line, and not their defensive line, a whole makeshift defensive line because all their starters are out. It's funny how when all your damn teams have their starters out, it's okay to use it as an excuse. Oh, my long snapper was out. That's why we lost to the Steelers. But the Browns have their whole defensive line out, and they're supposed to win. Doesn't make any damn sense. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, we're not done. We're not done. Oh, hey, Kev, Steelers are 2-2. We beat Jets with TJ Watt and Mink on the field on that last drive.
I would like to think so. We could have won that game if Minkah Fitzpatrick didn't drop his second pick 6 of the game. The one they were at the 10, and Minkah dropped the clear pick 6 that was thrown right between the 3 and the 9 that he would have took back to the house. Yeah, that would have been nice. But, we lost. It is what it is. We're not a good football team.
Yeah, I know you're not. But the
my
Browns.
Goodness.
Now, Brandon Kelty. Browns should impersonate the Bengals and beat Flacco and Mariota. Y'all lost to the Steelers. Y'all lost to the who you lost
over
to?
here,
The Cincinnati
beloved
Bengals.
Steelers,
the
man.
Bengals lost to the Steelers.
You better hope we don't get the first pick.
Why? You're going to stick with Mitch Trubisky?
No.
Knowing Mike Tomlin, because he's the smartest man in the room. The Steeler way. We're not going to draft good. We're not going to draft a quarterback or a good player. We're going to just keep throwing out Mitch Trubisky.
About a week and a half ago, you were slobbering over Coach Tomlin, and now that they lost, he stinks. Get him out of here.
I needed him to do one job, and that was beat the Bengals. Hey, we have a job to do, too, and that's to talk with our good friend, Mr. Jason Fitz. Jason, how are you? Congratulations on your team getting a win.
You know what? The funny thing is, listening to you guys talk, this really hit me on Sunday. Somebody tweeted out going into the fourth quarter, 8 of the early games going into the fourth quarter were one-score games. So, what we all have to accept this year, I think more than ever before, is that the line between good and bad is so thin that every game is going to be, if this guy would have made that one play. I mean, the Raiders are a perfect example at 1-3, and they've had the ball in their hands 3 different times with the opportunity to tie or win the game, haven't gotten it done. So the results are the results. But this NFL season, I think, is going to be about a lot of teams, a lot of parity, a lot of mediocrity, and a lot of how do we beat that team and then lose to that team. Look at the 49ers. How do the 49ers look so bad one week and then look so good against the Rams the next?
Are you a Jimmy G fan by any chance? Because Kevin and I are about to cancel this show because we're not going to be friends anymore because he just thinks he's crap. He just thinks he's horrible. He thinks he's awful. The Niners with them get to a Super Bowl. He gets injured. They're drafting high. He comes back. They make a They make a deep playoff run. He goes away. They look like crap the first couple weeks. He comes back. Look at him beating the Rams on Monday Night Football. Don't disrespect Mr. Porn Star Jimmy G.
I mean, Jimmy G's in the worst world that you can live in, the world of okay. Right? Fans sit there and they want quarterbacks to all be, some version of Mahomes and Herbert or Aaron Rodgers and Brady. And 99% of us are never going to know what that life is. So Jimmy G is good enough to get you to the Super Bowl. And by the way, he was good enough to get you into the Super Bowl with the lead going into the fourth quarter. I will always look at that and say, imagine how much different the narrative is on this quarterback if one quarter of his career is different. Is he great? No. Is he okay? Yeah. And can okay win you football games? Yeah, if you do everything else right, you can win football games with a pretty good quarterback. This concept that you have to have Mahomes, and what I think is funny is we sit here and dog the Jimmy G's of the world for what they don't do. But then I'm looking at Justin Herbert squarely saying, dude's never even been in a playoff game. We can't judge him in the playoffs yet because we've never seen him play in a playoff game. But because we haven't seen him fail there, he gets more benefit of the doubt than, let's say, Lamar Jackson, who goes out and because he doesn't have some great playoff games, that becomes part of what we hold against him. So, like, we have this ever-moving scale on quarterbacks. Jimmy G is in the world of okay.
The Philadelphia Eagles 4-0. Kevin and I do our top 10. I mean, just real original radio every Tuesday. We give out our top 10 right after the weeks of games wrap up. But the Eagles 4-0. Kev, you didn't have them number one, correct?
No, I had them at 3.
I had them at 3. I also had them at 3. Eagles fans yelling at us in the chat section over here about that as well. 4-0, I know it doesn't tell the complete story, but I'll still take a one-loss, Chiefs and a one-loss Bills team just because I trust their quarterbacks more. Even though I think the Eagles have a very good, well-rounded team, there's just something about I'll take a Bills team with deficiencies and a Chiefs team with deficiencies over a well-rounded Eagles team. How do you view them 4-0 1 month into the season?
I think you guys are both right. I would put them at 3 in my power rankings that nobody asked for. And you make a really good point on sort of the proof with the quarterback. And this is what it comes down to, right? Like, we watched the Bills play sort of an ugly football game, but when Josh Allen needed to have an MVP drive, he had an MVP drive. And he can do that. That Patrick Mahomes, I mean, the way he was playing Sunday night, that's unbeatable football. You've seen that from him. And I think Jalen Hurts has done a magnificent job. I think the Eagles clearly won the draft and won the offseason in a lot of different ways. They addressed their deficiencies in a calculated manner that has made them better day one out of the gates. I think they're clearly the best team in the NFC, but we have no idea. Like, game-winning drive, 2 minutes to go in the game, you have to win in a Super Bowl. Bet your house. And I would ask a Philly fan, if you had to bet your house in the Super Bowl, 2 minutes left, and you can have either Mahomes or Hurts as your quarterback, who you taking? And the answer to that's going to be Mahomes every time. So, I don't think it's unfair to say, hey, like, as good as Philly is, Kansas City and Buffalo are both really well-constructed teams too.
Let's stick in the NFC East. Many of us thought that the Dallas Cowboys were done when Dak went down, but they're not done. They're 3-1 right now. Where's Cooper Rush going to be playing next season? Because to me, he looks like some good trade bait.
No, yeah. I mean, Cooper Rush is putting himself in a good trade bait, right? And how, as much as we've talked about his journey from practice squad to practice squad, how much do the Giants regret that they didn't keep him on his practice squad somehow, right? Like, they got no answer at quarterback right now. And I'm surprised, guys. Like, I really thought that the Cowboys would be done without Dak. They obviously are playing very well. But I think the most interesting thing about it, the analysts keep saying, well, this shows the Cowboys the way to run their offense when they have Dak. That's a really cute concept. I just don't know that that's real. Like, when you are a coach calling plays and you have a very good quarterback, you are going to call the game different. And you probably should, because you have Dak instead of Cooper Rush. So I like the story of what this balance is created, but I don't know sustainably that I really believe that, the Cowboys are going to keep that up when they get Dak in, because it's too tempting otherwise. So Cowboys are better than I thought they would be, but there's a moat between where the Eagles are and the Cowboys are as a team right now.
ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz. The narrative constantly changes with teams. The Lions were that feel-good story last year, in so many one-possession games, losing a lot of those, of course. But, the coach, Campbell's an interesting dude. He's polarizing. He draws you in. But the losing by one possession last year, showing that you're almost there, was cute, but it's not cute when you do it 2 years in a row. But the Lions, the highest scoring team in the NFL, but they also give up the most points in the NFL. Really hard to, especially with Jared Goff as their quarterback. They're a very hard team to figure out. Who are the Lions? Is there any chance they are able to just clean up that defense a tad to take advantage of this explosive offense right now?
I'm surprised by how bad the defense is, because let's face it, Seattle's not exactly a juggernaut, right? But so I'm definitely surprised by what we saw. But I also look at it and say, okay, Dan Campbell's building something, and you get one get out of jail free card when everybody likes you as much as Campbell is liked right now. That get out of jail free card is going to be used in the draft this year to quarterback. And then everybody's going to say, this is exactly what they needed. But you're 100% right. It's not, sure, Goff is not going to go out there and scare anybody, but they are putting up points. Quarterback isn't the fail for this organization. It's their inability to stop anybody. And that's only surprising to me, because defense is at some level a little bit of a mindset thing, and it's a toughness thing, and we know that. And the Lions just look like they are ill-prepared. Their run gap fits, like, not to be that guy, but like just sitting around watching with former players and then having all the former players yell at the bad angles the Lions were taking was just eye-opening to me. So I think that's the alarming part of it, is that defensively they don't look sound at all technically, and that's an inexcusable thing. That's a coaching thing. So they got to get better there quickly, and I don't know that I trust that they will.
So my beloved Pittsburgh Steelers have made the move. They have moved on to Kenny Pickett. They moved on to the rookie. What can we expect from Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh Steelers offense? Will we be able to score touchdowns now as opposed to kicking 50-yard field goals?
I mean, they're going to be touchdowns. It's just going to be pick sixes, right? Like, I mean,
Nice.
I'm like, there's a moment here where I have to laugh only because there is no real identity for who the Steelers are offensively right now. And I know Mike Tomlin gets the benefit of the doubt that he deservedly gets for never having a losing season. I just can't for the life of me understand how you didn't see some of this coming as an organization with the offensive woes. I think Kenny Pickett, if anybody in the draft, should be given the opportunity to go out there and win that role. I love that it's Kenny Pickett, but y'all know I didn't love any of these quarterbacks coming out in the draft. So I think it's important to get him out there and find out what you have right away, because in reality, if Kenny Pickett is the guy, great. You're getting him reps. If he's not the guy, you better figure it out quick. It's just, life's tougher for Kenny Pickett right now than it is for, let's say, a Jalen Hurts or a Justin Herbert. Like, when we start talking about the young quarterbacks we love, part of the reason we love them is they're surrounded by big name player after big name player that can contribute every single Sunday. And the Steelers just don't, right now, they don't have that, all right, I need 6 yards. This is how I'm going to get it. You know what I'm going to do, and you can't stop me. And the Steelers have been for years. It doesn't matter if they're predictable. They can out-execute you because they have better players and better technique. Right now, this offense isn't that. So I think, frankly, the Steelers are just, they're a bad football team. And by the end of the year, they feel like a top 10 pick to me. And that's alarming to say for a Mike Tomlin team.
ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz. This is good news for you. The Broncos are not as good as everyone had anticipated them being, because they went out and got Russell Wilson. We don't see this often. You see quarterbacks, we watch Peyton Manning go to Denver, instantly change the whole dynamic of that team. Watch Tom Brady leave the Patriots, obviously heads over to the Buccaneers, instantly changes the dynamic of that team. A lot of people kind of expected the same thing, the same rollout, of course, with Russell Wilson. That has not been the case. What I find most interesting is that he leaves Seattle, and Seattle still just seems to be what they were with him, and that's just a very average football team. What does that say? Does that say more about Pete Carroll and the Seahawks, or does that say more about Russell Wilson as far as how both were viewed? Everyone viewed the Seahawks to be this old, out-of-touch football team that was holding Russell Wilson back. Now Russell Wilson, he moves on, and the Denver Broncos have the same kind of lethargic offensive look that the Seahawks did, and the Seahawks are rolling. So, yeah, it's very interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, well, and I think what we've learned is that the Seahawks, as much as it was let Russ cook and there's a battle there, and I've, talked to a couple of different people that know that team well, and they've been really open about the fact that, Russ and that coaching staff were constantly arguing about play calling. And what we've seen is that Seattle knows what they're comfortable doing. Like, anybody that's ever invested, that you fill out a risk questionnaire when you invest. And I would best describe the Seahawks organization as risk averse at everything they do offensively. They're just trying not to screw it up. And I know Russell want to go to a situation where he could have more impact and more ability to let it fly. But I think what we're seeing is that just not screw it up is going to at least keep the Seahawks in relevance. And the other side of it, I was in Vegas at the game, guys, and there was not a single time that I looked at the Broncos offense and thought, man, I'm scared. And the craziest part about that is Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are good players. I don't know if Judy's developed the way we thought, but they have weapons on that team. They should be a dynamic offense, and they just aren't. And now they lose Javonte Williams for the year. Their job at running back just got much more difficult too. So I think by the end of the year, the Broncos are going to fall off and fade off, and we're going to be asking a lot of questions about why they spent the money they spent and whether Nathaniel Hackett's prepared to be a head coach. And it's just Russell Wilson. Nothing looks easy. Nothing looks natural. Nothing looks good right now. And maybe they get that figured out with more time together, but I don't know. I think you have a coach that maybe doesn't have the what to stand up to the quarterback, and a quarterback that's pushing him over to do what he wants, and it's not working.
Very clunky right now. Transitioning over to college football, Alabama got a win on the road, even though Bryce Young got banged up. Georgia was able to squeak past Mizzou. Ohio State dominated again. But Clemson's the team that Justin and I have been keeping an eye on, kind of had that eye of all right, Is Clemson going to take a step back, or are they going to step back up into the big boy ranks? They got the two best wins, in my humble opinion, of the college football season. I know it's over Wake Forest and over NC State, but those are pretty good teams out of the ACC. Where do you see this whole thing with Clemson?
Yeah, and you're right about the wins. And frankly, I didn't give them a ton of credit for the Wake Forest win because they still got eaten up by Sam Hartman, who I have just an absolute man crush on at this point. But I looked at it and thought, okay, let's see what they look like against a quality defense at NC State. And they were just, not only were they ready, they were bigger, tougher, stronger. DJ Uiagalelei is answering every question that we have. And I think the questions have been fair. I also think it's fair that if we're going to question, hey, can he grow into it as he does grow into it, then you got to step back and say, okay, we are getting the answers to those questions. And, frankly, Georgia's had 2 straight weeks where they didn't look particularly good. Alabama, I think, is going to have a massive issue with that injury. And Ohio State is rolling. So there's a window of opportunity for Clemson right now to really win their way into the top 4 pretty definitively. And I don't know that you could have made a bigger statement. NC State is going to look back. NC State, Wake Forest, the ACC is going to look back at these last 2 years and say, how the heck did we do more damage to Clemson? Because they had a window of opportunity to really reset dominance, and they didn't do it.
If Alabama is to stumble, where is that going to be? I think it's personally going to be at Tennessee in 2 weeks. Where do you think they're going to stumble, if at all, Bama?
Oh, man. And if that happens, by the way, the hype train for Heupel and the Vols would be huge. I think that's a good call that it would be Tennessee. Look, I would take Georgia over them in the SEC championship game, but I would say this. I sat next to A.J. McCarron, who was quarterback for for Alabama for 3 national championships. And the minute we were sitting in the conference room getting ready for our show, and the minute Bryce Young went down, immediately AJ said, yep, he sprained the shoulder in the AC joint. I know that injury. I know what he's doing with his shoulder. And, 10 minutes later, he got a text from one of the trainers that confirmed what he thought it was going to be. And what AJ told me that I thought was interesting is that when that happened to him, they won a national championship that year. But for the rest of the year, for every single practice, he never threw another football for the rest of the season. All he could do was hand off throughout the course of the season. And then on Saturday mornings, they would give him 3 injections in his shoulder so that he could lift his shoulder high enough to actually throw a football. And so the first time he threw a ball every week was when you saw him on the field on the TV broadcast doing the warm-up throws before they actually went. And he never knew if his arm was going to work or not. And then we threw an entire season that way. The difference is Alabama is not clearly better than everybody. They were then. They're not now. So to me, if you're getting less of Bryce Young and then you take on something like the tempo of offense that Tennessee's going to bring to you, yeah, I mean, I'm scared if I'm Alabama and I don't have all of Bryce Young. I'm scared for a bunch of these games. Look, I know A&M's season has fallen apart, but A&M can certainly write the season in that locker room if they can shock the world and beat Alabama, right? Everybody now is going to look at it and say, okay, this is like, you're fighting the lesser version of Mike Tyson. Can you still get the knockout? And that's what everybody's going to try and do. So I think Alabama's season's an absolute risk.
In 2 weeks, we got a big matchup in the Big Ten, Penn State, Michigan. Obviously, being a Big Ten country, we talk about these teams a ton, and being Ohio, we want, Penn State to win because we don't ever want Michigan to win. But is Penn State for real? I mean, they went down to Auburn, got a big victory, but they really haven't played anybody of note yet. But how real is Penn State? Can Penn State really beat Michigan?
Yeah, the thing is, I want Penn State to be real, but like Clifford the dog's been there for like 725 years as the quarterback, and I still don't trust him, right? Like there's this moment when you talk about whenever he drops, you can't tell me Penn State fans don't hold their breath every time he throws a football. We've all been a fan of a team that that like your quarterback just isn't that guy, and that's certainly Penn State. So, I just don't know that I can trust Clifford in those situations, and he doesn't have a Jahan Dotson this year to bail him out like he did last year. So I think Penn State is good, not great, and Michigan has the opportunity. The runway is there in front of them. I stand by, every time Michigan has played well, and you guys know that I don't always tick off your one guy that likes to get in the middle of the calls. But here's the thing. Like, Michigan has the opportunity to be the second best team in the Big Ten. That's what they're shooting for right now. So, you got to win that game if you're Michigan because you're going to get your butt kicked by Ohio State. So you can't afford another loss. But you can pick up a key win by beating Penn State. I don't think Penn State is for real enough to compete against Michigan. I also still think we got to remember that Michigan's going to lose by 3 touchdowns to Ohio State.
Want to say congratulations to you, Jason, and the network that you work for not being dumb enough to purchase the media rights to Big Ten football. I don't care. The Big Ten, I get so tired of hearing how good this conference is. I can't think of another conference that's fired 2 head coaches, not even a full halfway point of the season. Paul Chris goes down, and I was going to ask you your thoughts on Urban Meyer at Wisconsin, but I'm just going to replay the clip from a few weeks ago about Nebraska. But to go back to Kev's point about Clemson a little bit ago, we did a segment yesterday about who's the most disrespected team right now, 5 games in. I said Clemson mainly just because of the back-to-back top 25 wins. They're 5-0. They have a big name quarterback. I shouldn't say star yet. He's emerging into one. But if the college football playoff rankings came out today, just based on the history of what they kind of show us, those big wins matter, and I kind of feel like they would throw us for a curveball a little bit, and I feel like Clemson would be like at number 2. Am I wrong in thinking that if the college football playoff committee released their poll tonight, that Clemson would be at number 2? Am I often saying that?
No, I think I might think number 3 because I think they'll separate the SEC teams, which means they'd have to decide to put Ohio State number 4, and that feels gross. I don't feel good about that at all. But I'm with you. Big wins matter, right? The committee cares about who's on the field, when they were on the field, and how the wins look when they happen. So the big wins are going to get a ton of cred from the committee out of the gate for Clemson. They're absolutely – I think they're going to get a lot more love than any of us expected or any of us are talking about. By the way, now all I can think about is that juggernaut Wisconsin-Michigan State game being put at 3:30 in the afternoon and just getting its butt kicked. I mean, golly, that's going to be ugly.
Last thing, and we'll let you go, but the Big Ten just talk every year. People get so angry when we talk about how good the SEC is. And I'm like, well, sometimes it's because the SEC really is that good. I don't think it's a bias. I think the best players are there. I think the best coaches are there. And then we try to prop up the Big Ten. And I'm like, look, the Big Ten is embarrassing, badly bad. You take Ohio State out, and Michigan's not strong enough to carry that conference and put it in the same limelight as the SEC and some of the others. Right now, the Pac-12 looks better as a whole than the Big Ten until Oklahoma all of a sudden decided to stop being a legit program over the last couple of weeks. I would have said the Big 12 looks better than the Big 10. But are you surprised? I mean, Wisconsin moving on from their coach mid-season like this, Nebraska and Wisconsin, 2 big programs, 2 respected programs, not even letting their coaches finish the season. Are you surprised by that move?
I am, and I'm surprised where the Big Ten is. I'll be honest, the troll in me has always rooted against the SEC just because SEC fans could just be so loud and obnoxious about it. I love watching Big Ten football and being able to be the guy that props it up and says, hey, I don't think conferences typically by most people are judged by their best teams or their worst teams. They're judged by the middle of the pack. We're not going to judge Vandy by, we're not going to judge SEC by where Vandy is or by where Alabama is. The real conversation in the SEC is going to be about the Auburns, the Tennessees, the Kentuckys, the Floridas. Where's that mid-level group playing right now? And when you look at the mid-level group that has the opportunity to build something that matters, you mentioned Wisconsin, Nebraska. I'll again mention Mel Tucker and Michigan State. I had heavy expectations that he would be able to continue to build something there, and that obviously hasn't happened. I cannot for the life of me understand why well-funded programs with great facilities in areas that give a damn to the level of Big Ten country aren't consistently putting up better middle-of-the-pack teams. The middle of the road of the Big Ten are supposed to be 9-win teams that can compete every once in a while for a national championship. The fact that those cliffs have fallen off and we're watching these teams put up 6 and 7 wins is not acceptable for the conference. It's not acceptable to fans. It shouldn't be acceptable to coaches that make way too much money to do what they do. You've got everything in place. Use it. And they got to find people that are equally passionate about the region and the team and the players. They can turn around and look somebody in the eye and say, we are going to build something at Nebraska. Nebraska has to mean something for somebody that genuinely knows how to recruit and knows how to make the most of a fan base that cares far more than anybody ever gives them credit for caring. There's something special there. I don't know why they haven't been able to put the right people in the building.
You and me both. You, me, and Kev all on the same page as far as that's concerned. Jason, on the way out, I saw your tweet the other day. Just kind of confused as to why there were so many angry people every time ESPN would cut to one of Aaron Judge's at bats. I mean, kind of takes me back to when I was a kid when I said, say what you want about baseball, but no other sport has as big a moment as baseball, big enough to the point to where we're interrupting live broadcasts of other sports for cut-ins. We don't do that in the NBA. We don't interrupt any other sport to show a clip of an NBA game live, or nothing in the NFL as big as the NFL is. We don't stop baseball or any other sport for a historic moment in football. We do that for baseball, but yet people seem to be infuriated by it. Your thoughts on that? And by the way, if Aaron Judge does hit number 62, is he the regular season home run king, or does that record still belong to Barry Bonds in your opinion?
Well, the record belongs to Bonds because that's what baseball's decided. I'm not going to sit here and say that I have more power or voice than the actual people that make those decisions. So for me, that one's simple. The other part of it is I was watching Twitter on Friday, and I thought the way people were reacting, they were taking the game completely off. So I'm sitting in a conference room with 6 TVs in front of me, and they're all cutting into Aaron Judge. And I was like, this is the split screen. Like, what do we complain? It's a split screen. If you've ever watched a game in a sports bar in your life, you understand that every once in a while, like, you don't always have the audio on your game. You can still see your game, and it's a sports network cutting in with an important sports moment to some sports fans. Like, what do we like? If we're cutting in with an update for the Kardashians, I could understand the outrage. If they were cutting in for a political update, I could understand the outrage. It's a baseball moment that matters to baseball, and y'all know, like, I'm not even a baseball guy. And I look at that, I'm sitting there watching it, I'm like, man, that's really cool. Like, this is all. We used to pay more for picture-in-picture on TV, and now that people are, like, complaining, I don't understand it, man. Like, people have lost their minds.
Don't disrespect the Kardashians. I mean, I'm pulling for Tristan Thompson to have more kids with Khloe. Come on, that's good TV right there.
That is good. Like, just keep popping out those babies, Tristan. Let's go.
Hey, Jason, ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz. You the man. Appreciate you. We'll talk next week. Take care.
Have a great week, guys.
All right, ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash when we come back.
Need to visit the Ohio BMV? Go online first. It could save you a trip. It's now easier and more convenient than ever to get what you need from the BMV online. Need to renew your driver's license? Renew online. And if you need to renew your vehicle registration, visit one of our new BMV Express kiosks or go online. If you do need to visit a BMV agency, use the Get in Line online tool, also found on the website, to save your spot.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19? Then act fast with authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms begin. COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too.
Is non-invasive and it's used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit Cologuard.com.
I'm in.
Apply today. Online at CordellTransportation.com. Driven to succeed.
The best audio entertainment this fall is on Audible. It's the home of storytelling with audiobooks, exclusive originals, popular podcasts, and more. All in one app. Sign up for a free 30-day trial at audible.com.
WYNG 1410 Dayton, Dayton's ESPN Radio.
Justin Kinner, Kev Nash, back with you here on Dayton's ESPN radio station, 1410 Wing AM. Big thanks to ESPN Radio's Jason Fitz for taking time and hanging out with us here on the show. He joins us each and every Tuesday. I don't even know what day it is anymore. But we're live on Facebook. We're live on Twitter and ESPN Dayton's YouTube channel. So hang out with us over there if you want to get in on the conversation. But 518-1410. We talked, of course, about NFL, talked college football with Jason Fitz. As far as Clemson's concerned, the Wake Forest game, he was kind of a little lukewarm on as far as giving Clemson too much credit for that, which I get. But top 25, SEC takes credit for all their bad top 25 teams, and I'm going to give the same respect, if you will, I guess, to NC State. I want to open up with this, talk about Pittsburgh Steelers finally going to Pickett. My only problem with them going to Pickett is they should have had Pickett there from the very beginning, because we're 4 weeks in, technically 3.5 weeks in by the time he finally got out there. It's not as if he wasn't ready 3.5 weeks ago and now all of a sudden he's ready. If, at this point, knowing, and this is exactly why I was on board with him being the starter from the very beginning, even if they did Mitch Trubisky wrong by going to get him before they drafted Trubisky or Pickett, was this. We know how deep this NFL draft is coming up with quarterbacks. And I believe that the worst thing that the Pittsburgh Steelers could do is, well, we got to give him another year to find out if he has it, and then pass up on all the great quarterbacks that are about to come out in this draft. It sounds like this could be one of those, historic draft classes. You never know until you know. But
right.
Bottom line is, it sounds like the chances of getting a quarterback and hitting on it is significantly better this coming up season than last year. So you could either criticize the Bengals. I'm so used to saying criticizing the Bengals. I don't know where the criticism should fall on the Steelers for even drafting Kenny Pickett to begin with in a bad quarterback draft a season before you knew it was going to be a quarterback heavy draft, or drafting Kenny Pickett and then just not rolling him out there knowing that this was going to be a rough season, knowing you don't have the offensive line. Look, TJ Watt, I don't think they were a TJ Watt away from winning over the last 3 weeks. I could be wrong on that. Maybe he makes a difference in that Browns game. I don't know. But the bottom line is at this point, I don't know why you're going to Kenny Pickett, because you're going to Kenny Pickett now because, well, he's young. We got to know what we have. And, well, Mitch Trubisky, you knew what Mitch Trubisky was. Mitch Trubisky wasn't going to come out and be an MVP out of nowhere. Can you name the last time a quarterback failed with the team, was released by a team, and then that team grabbed him, and all of a sudden they turned into an all-world beater. And I don't mean like Drew Brees, Drew Brees was just banged up constantly and then finally got healthy, and then look what happened. I mean, was not good for the first 3 years. The team gives up on him. They move on, and all of a sudden they're an MVP candidate. The Pittsburgh Steelers trying to do the veteran thing with Trubisky that's why I get so annoyed, is like the teams that try to do we're the smartest team in the room, it just doesn't work out. I'm not saying the record would be any different, but I think it's very important to know who Kenny Pickett is. I know you don't know after 1 year if they have it or not, but recent history kind of tells us that, yeah, that's kind of the case. I've seen examples of guys who have a good rookie year and then get worse. I don't have a lot of examples of guys who were horrible their rookie year and then get better. Josh Allen was not great his rookie year, but he wasn't bad either. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of one of those situations. So in a non-trolling segment conversation with Kev about his Pittsburgh Steelers, I find this move to be kind of silly. I find the move to be kind of silly at this point, because it's just like to say that, well, Mitch Trubisky, he just doesn't have it. Well, what did you think was going to happen? What I just feel like now Kenny Pickett is now very, very behind because he didn't get any of the first team snaps in the preseason. He actually showed out in the preseason, was very good. I know the interceptions piled up over the weekend, whatever. But the thing is, I think Pittsburgh's best shot is risking the interceptions, but accepting the fact that he could actually get the ball down the field.
Right.
And I think it's that risk rule. There's a risk factor in that. He's going to turn the ball over, but it's better than Trubisky not turning it over and just leading a bunch of 3-and-outs. I don't get this. Too many times teams want to be the smartest team in the room and do that. We're going to do the veteran thing. We're going to start the veteran quarterback, let the rookie learn under. We're not patient anymore as an NFL fan base. And even as these organizations, I just don't get why these teams try to go that route. It never works out. The Bears tried it with Justin Fields. The pressure got to it, especially knowing you're going to be bad. I don't think Pittsburgh thought they were going to be this bad, but
right.
They couldn't have thought that Trubisky was going to lead him to the promised land to the point to where there was no chance of this happening. I just feel like he should have been the guy from the very beginning. Whether he is the guy or not, I don't know. The best thing that can happen for the Steelers, Kev, I'll be honest, is he's butt. Because then they could feel justified in drafting a quarterback high in the draft if that's where they fall this upcoming draft, if these QBs are as good as what we all think they are 5 weeks into the college football season. The worst thing that can happen for you, they win maybe 3 or 4 more games. Pickett looks okay. You don't know what you have. Then you choose to roll with him into year 2, and he's just kind of like Mac Jones. He's just not very good. Now you passed up on all these potential future all-pro guys. I think this is a very tough spot for Pittsburgh to be in.
I'm looking at the guys that are in college right now. I only see 2 guys that I would be like, all right, I really want them on my team, and that would be C.J. Stroud and Will Levis from Kentucky. I know everybody's going to say, what about Bryce Young? What about Bryce Young?
He's 6 foot tall.
Bryce Young is shorter than 6 feet tall. Bryce Young is under 185 pounds. Look, man, everybody's loves to go to, he could be the next Drew Brees. Well, guess what? Drew Brees is a 1-of-1. Can you name another Hall of Fame quarterback that's under 6 feet tall? Because I sure can't. So this really isn't about, for me, this isn't about the guys that are coming out next year. This is about what the Pittsburgh Steelers decided to do quarterback-wise, offensive coordinator-wise, and the things that frustrate me about the offense. And as big as a Mike Tomlin fan as I am, and all the great things that he's done for the team, he still has to wear the fact that the offense is hot garbage. It's just garbage. And he's the person that hired Matt Canada. And Matt Canada wasn't a good offensive coordinator at Wisconsin. He wasn't a good offensive coordinator at LSU. And he's not been a good offensive coordinator with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And for me, you brought in Mitchell Trubisky because you wanted a younger quarterback that could move around in the pocket and make plays with his legs and bootleg and all those things. Well, those plays were never called with Mitchell Trubisky. So the offense looked exactly the same as a 40-something-year-old Ben Roethlisberger. So what's the point of bringing in Mr. Trubisky at all if you were still going to be running the same exact offense that you had with Big Ben? Now, the offense did look a little more explosive versus the New York Jets, who have a lot of good young talent out there on defense. Looking at Kenny Pickett stretch the ball down the field, his rapport with George Pickens is pretty dang good already. But it's those turnovers. I mean, he threw 3 interceptions first game and wasn't a full game, it was a half.
Last one was a Hail Mary, but 3's 3.
Yeah.
3 interceptions,
Yeah.
3 interceptions. But
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so you got three interceptions, and I think that's what Tomlin was trying to figure out. Like, all right, man, the risk reward. What's the risk reward here? And then you look at the gauntlet of games coming up right now. I believe it's Buffalo, then Miami, and then I forget who's the next team. I think I want to say it's like the Ravens before they even get a bye week. So if I'm the Steelers, I would imagine they were just trying to make it to see what happens in the first half of the season, but the offense just was sputtering. They couldn't get first downs. I mean, they were gifted.
Real quick, at Bills.
Okay,
Bucks,
at
Dolphins,
Bills. Yeah, there you go.
Eagles.
Yeah, that's nightmare. That's nightmare. And then you got the Saints who have a lights out defense. Then you finally play somebody back in the division with the Bengals. So the Bengals
win at least.
The Bengals are going to be licking their chops off of the first game of the season, obviously not going their way by turning the ball over left and right. So the Steelers definitely got a murderer's row ahead of them. So it's going to be definitely a tough season for them. So, for me, I want them to change offensive coordinators. And for all I know, Kenny Pickett could come out here and be the Messiah. I never thought so. I've always said that they should have drafted the offensive lineman center from Iowa, or the big boy from Georgia, the defensive tackle. I've always said that dating back till February. That's the people I wanted, and those guys were there for them to get when Kenny Pickett was there. So he's my quarterback. He's rocking number 8 for the Steelers, so I'm rocking with 8, and hopefully we can turn it around.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people saying Peyton Manning. What do you mean, Jesse, by Peyton Manning? I'm talking about a guy, what I was bringing up, when I was bringing up the fact that Kenny Pickett, you could know, like people say, well, you need more than 1 year to know if you have something with him. I disagree. These quarterbacks coming out of college are more NFL ready now than they have ever been throughout the history of the league. They may not be coming in finished products, but they come in with the mechanics that that there's something tangible that you could work with. And there is usually, I can't think of one rookie quarterback that has had a bad season and then they developed into a Pro Bowl, Super Bowl, MVP type of quarterback. It just doesn't happen. Joe Burrow, and I don't want to hear that, they play on bad teams. Justin Fields, Buckeye fans, you got to take your Buckeye blinders off for a second. Justin Fields is not a good NFL quarterback. He's shown signs of it. That's fine. But there's too many examples of quarterbacks on bad NFL teams that still showed glimpses of greatness, and Justin Fields has not shown that. Joe Burrow did. Joe Burrow played on a very bad Bengals team that first year. He was running for his life. He didn't have he had T. Higgins as a rookie. He didn't have Jamar Chase. He didn't have all the weapons that he has now. And yet he was still throwing for 300 yards. You knew Joe Burrow was special like that. And he didn't need anyone around him to show that he was special. Trevor Lawrence, same thing. He doesn't have world beaters around him right now, but he's showing that he is something special. Wait till you actually give him some elite weapons. You know what I mean? And I think that's why this is a very important move for Pittsburgh, because I think that they don't want to have happen is not, wait till the final month of the season to go to them and then let 4 games decide whether they should go quarterback in the draft or not. I think that the Bears are in that spot. I think they're trying to figure out who Justin Fields is too, and I think this time, how about this for Justin Fields, Kev? He's completed a total of 34 passes this year, 34 passes in 4 games.
Ouch.
He has thrown 471 yards. He's thrown for only 471 yards in 4 games. He's averaging 117 pass yards a game. He's thrown 2 touchdowns in 4 games. I know the Bears aren't the greatest organization in the world. They're not the worst either. But you can't tell me that Justin Fields is this bad only because there's not a lot around him. Like, we've seen other quarterbacks with nothing around him show. So my point is, this is actually a good thing for the Pittsburgh Steelers. If this season is a wash, and I guarantee you, your coach Mike Tomlin does not view this season as a wash. Like, they're trying to turn this thing around. That they had to know with Kenny Pickett. They have to figure it out, because you know what you have with Trubisky. There's too much history with Trubisky before he got to the Steelers of this is who he is. He's gonna make a nice throw every once in a while, but he can't make a string of nice throws. He can't lead you down the field. Kenny Pickett might be able to do that, might resurrect this season. They might pick up a couple of these wins over the next couple of weeks. You know how funny the NFL can be. So who knows? But I think this was a smart move. I just can't help but think this move should have never had to have been made. I don't know how much better their record is.
That's exactly my point. Like, how much better would they actually even been?
But big picture, you just know you don't want to leave games on the table. But either way, there's still so much season left. They're going to know whether he's the quarterback of the future or not. And that's just because the day and age we live in, we're not patient. I saw someone say Peyton Manning was horrible his first year. Name the last. That was how many decades ago? And by the way, good example. Thank you for that. I asked, you gave it to me. I'm not going to mock your answer. I'm sorry. My point about saying Peyton Manning, that's a bad answer. I'm just saying it's a bad example because it was 30 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. All my examples would be basically 20 years ago. A guy that I can think of that basically played DB when he first got to the NFL, Rich Gannon, when he became an MVP playing for the Raiders. Alex Smith, when he left the 49ers, when he got benched for Kaepernick and then basically resurrected his career with Kansas City. You know, those are the guys I think of, but those guys are decades ago.
Yep.
Those all happened decades ago. And the way the rookie wage scale is set up for you to move on from players a lot faster. You know, that's the thing about it, because the rookie wage scale initially was brought up because veteran players were saying, how can a rookie come in here and get paid more than a veteran? But now, in turn, it's just making it easier for the teams to move on from players a lot faster.
Yep.
So in years past, they had no choice.
Yeah.
You had no choice. Like, what's the saying? Like, drafting a bad quarterback to set your franchise back 8 years. Now, no, it doesn't, because guess what? Just say, for instance, Kenny Pickett is absolutely hot garbage, and the Steelers got the #1 overall pick, and CJ Stroud is sitting there waiting. They can draft him because the precedent has been set by the Arizona Cardinals that you can just dump a guy after 1 year and there's really no harm, no foul. It's like, all right, because it's not that financial investment that it once was. You know, the last guy that really get paid like that, not Stafford, was the guy from Oklahoma.
I know here. Oh gosh, I could see him too. Played for the Vikings, and I'm looking right at him.
I think he wore number 8 as well.
And he kind of built weird. His shoulders were kind of up high around his neck too. That's driving me nuts. Come on, help us out, Bradford.
Yes,
Bradford.
Sam Bradford. Yes. So I think he was like the last guy. Thanks, Jesse. I think he was like the last guy to really cash in on that. So it won't be the end of the world, because people move on from contracts all the time.
The only way it's the end of the world is if you're in a situation like the Niners should not get a pass for the way they screwed up, because you gave up a boatload of picks to move up to get Trey Lance. If that doesn't work out, and I don't think it will, it already hasn't. They should be forgiven for that. But you know what? My God, Jimmy G comes in, they win some games. But like they're not getting the criticism that they should be getting right now, because Jimmy G comes in and plugs holes and they win games and we kind of forget about it, right? The Niners are getting off the hook. None of these other teams get that luxury. Now,
they get off the hook because they don't have that financial investment. So you can have the rookie quarterback.
The draft
you can have the quarterback, the rookie quarterback, and still have enough money left over to pay a good backup like a Jimmy Garoppolo, who's a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. So you don't have that financial investment. So now when we talk about the picks, it's kind of like how we talk about with the Rams. Like, all right, if they want to hit reset, they can ship both out of there. They can ship Fred Warner out of there. They can can't remember the DB's name, but they can ship him out of there for a second or a first round pick. They can just turn it around. So I think at the early parts, the franchise was like, well, wait a minute, what's going on? But then they got smart about it. It's like, well, this is a good thing for us. We can just keep on recycling players left and right.
Yeah, with that being said, I just saw Mike Haywood say, I can't give any recent examples because guys don't get time anymore. Yes and no, but like when we say that, we say, well, guys don't get time anymore. I don't think anyone's rushed any decision, because the teams that guys have given up on, they've never resurrected somewhere else. Like Josh Rosen, like when the Browns got him, I'm like, there has to be something there, right? Like he was a top draft pick. Like there has to be something there, right? No, he didn't even make the roster. He got cut.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and this was a guy that a team traded up for to get. And then the very next year, the Cardinals said, forget it. And then they get Kyler Murray. And so that's why I'm just like, these teams know. So the Steelers are going to know with Kenny Pickett at the end of this year whether he's their guy or not. And that's the thing. The Bears, I don't know. So let me get Doug Toby says, please name me a wide receiver on the Bears team. Doug, it doesn't matter. Justin Fields isn't a good NFL quarterback. It's okay. He's just not. We just want it to work so bad so we could end this stupid narrative that Buckeye QBs just won't make it in the NFL. That'll end eventually. There's just too much talent coming through with Ryan Day. It's just not Justin Fields. And I do believe the Bears play a role in not developing him. Don't get me wrong, because there was something there. And now, am I wrong in that? Do you agree? I think
it's a lot that goes into it. I think it's not as cut and dry as, all right, this dude's just not a good NFL quarterback. I do believe people can be broken. I believe that people that go to bad situations can be broken. I don't think this is like a linebacker where, hey man, no matter where Ray Lewis would have been drafted, he would have been Ray Lewis, because it's see ball, get ball.
Fair.
This isn't the NBA where no matter where Allen Iverson would have ended up, he was going to score 30 points a game. Quarterback is such a dependent spot where the talent around you, the coaching around you, the development around you. I truly believe if different players end up in different spots, especially at the quarterback position, their careers go two totally different ways.
Josh Maloney said, complete opposite. Look at Stafford once he left Detroit. But Stafford was good in Detroit. And he was there a long time. That was just one of those, the team was just ready to move on and go in a different direction. Both were just running in place at that point. Not a bad example, but still what I'm saying is I'm talking about a team that drafts a quarterback. All right, the Baker Mayfield, a prime example. So wrong on him for all the stuff I was wrong about the Bengals last year. And then you pile it up with the Baker Mayfield stuff. Baker Mayfield's an example. Gets drafted by the Browns, shows signs of greatness, not greatness, but shows signs of at least promise, right? And then injuries happen. They move on from him. And I'm like, man, the Carolina Panthers are going to grab him. He's going to take advantage of this opportunity. And then all of a sudden he's just going to emerge as a star, right? No, the Browns is the Browns that everyone said, including me, when it came to the handling of Baker. The Browns were actually right. The Browns were right to move on from Baker Mayfield. I didn't like it at the time. I said they were a dumb organization for doing so. He won them a playoff game, but they made the adult decision saying he won us a playoff game, but we have our eyes set higher than just winning a playoff game. So that's an example there. Baker didn't go on to the Panthers and kill it. He may not even make a practice way. He's going to probably be in the media booth somewhere next year, if I had to guess.
No,
that's how bad this is going.
No, he'll still be in the league. Oh, he'll still be in the league.
Everyone needs guys on practice.
If he's
bad.
if he's
telling y'all,
if he's willing to accept a backup role, he can stay in the league.
Man, I'm not sure that I have Jacoby Brissett as my backup at this point. That's how bad he's over Carolina.
I don't even think it's his play that's so bad. I think it's, when he gets in front of that microphone, man, he just can't control himself.
I think it's the fact that he has the world's record lowest QBR since they started tracking QBR. Like it's that bad. I don't think he's even been talking. He hasn't got, what has he said since getting to Carolina?
Don't be a fan later.
But what's wrong with that? That's what these guys say all the time. Joe Burrow wears the Dahmer glasses. I mean, he wears his grandma's, curtains. I think that's way worse than anything Burrow said. Just saying, or Baker said. Let's see.
I'm gonna wear that suit to work one day.
Do it.
It'll look good on me, man.
So, for Halloween, we got to go and we each got to take a Burrow look. I'm just gonna.
One of us can get away with it. One of us can't.
Why?
I'm just saying. Fashion is confidence, man.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Fashion is confidence, baby.
I didn't know where you were going with that. I was like, I'm just gonna draw a big old L on my head. L on my head. So Phil says, I don't know if that's a real name, so I'm not going to read it all the way, but Phil is his name. He says, Jalen Hurts got all of last year to audition, won 9 games. They went and got him A.J. Brown, and now he's an MVP candidate. I don't think Jalen Hurts is MVP candidate. Numbers aren't like elite. Numbers are all right. They're not. His team. If the Eagles are 2-2 and he has those same numbers, are we saying Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate?
And part of being an MVP is winning games?
No. Why wouldn't Jimmy G ever in the MVP conversation? Right?
I said part. I didn't say solely. I said part.
No, I disagree.
Okay.
I just think that you could take a game manager quarterback on a 12-13 win team, and I don't think we're putting them in the MVP conversation.
At all?
At all.
Okay.
Alex Smith, was he ever an MVP candidate?
Yeah.
He was not an MVP candidate.
With the Niners, yeah. The first year, yeah.
He was not an MVP candidate.
The first year with Harbaugh, he was.
Bobby Sparks says, Phil again says, I'm with you, Kenner. Forget recycling. A has-been. Draft a young guy and stick him out of there. Phil, are you a real name? Is that your real name? I'm probably being rude. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to get a commercial break before I get in trouble. Joe Burrow. I got to find Joe Burrow's greatest, worst look ever, and I'm going to be that for Halloween. Working on it. And then we got to do a Halloween show.
We do.
And I already got the glasses.
Falling on a Monday.
I got the Dahmer glasses right over there. I already have half of Joe Burrow's look already down. So there's that. All right. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash on 1410 ESPN Radio. We'll be right back.
It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash.
Justin, you're awesome, baby.
Right here on 1410 ESPN Radio. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
The mid-afternoon and early evening will be clear and sunny, a high near 72. Tonight's going to be mainly clear, a low near 45, and tomorrow's going to be clear and sunny, a high near 76. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Is there a calculator that can't compute in your kitchen drawer? Recycle it at Staples. A shredder that won't shred under your bed? Or a collection of cables cluttering up your closet? Recycle them now at Staples. With Staples Free Tech Takeback, we'll recycle your old tech free. Plus, rewards members get $5 back in rewards. So if you have modems, mice, and mobile phones making a mess of your home, recycle them now at Staples. Limit 1 reward per month. Redeemable in-store only. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is, fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy inherited properties, vacant homes, rentals, commercial properties, and apartment buildings. Give us a call today and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
It's time for Frickin' Football. Frickers has a way to make this the winning season. Try a Frickin' Chicken Taco, Grilled Chicken Taco, or Mississippi Barbecue Taco for a limited time. Enjoy a 48-ounce personal pitcher of domestic draft beer.
I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
All the games of college and the NFL at the place that leads the way with inflation-busting prices, everyday values, and where kids eat free. The home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. Frickers.
Do you have an old sports program, baseball, photo, ticket, or game-used equipment just collecting dust? Sports Investments wants to buy your sports memorabilia. They're also interested in old sports cards and also buying political, aviation, and entertainment items. Bring your collectibles to Sports Investments and get a fair value on the spot. If you decide to sell, they'll pay you immediately. Sports Investments is the largest buyer of memorabilia and cards in the area since 1993. Sports Investments also feature the best selection of autographed memorabilia, sports cards, and other collectible items for sale, including all your favorites like Tiger Woods, LeBron James, Joey Votto, the Bengals, the Browns, the Big Red Machine, UC, XU, UK, MKU, UD, Louisville, Notre Dame, and Ohio State, just to name a few. You'll enjoy the experience of dealing with the Walter family. Call them at 513-891-5000. Email Adam at sportsinvestments.com or visit them on Montgomery Road, right off I-275, just 40 minutes from WING.
Don't put it off any longer. You know it's time. Time for a bathroom upgrade by Bath Creations. Bath Creations is a leader in bathroom renovations, providing the very best value in bath and shower remodeling and proudly made in the USA. With Bath Creations, you get a beautiful modern bathroom that's safe, comfortable, and affordable. Attention first responders, veterans, and active military. Save $500 off your purchase right now. Visit Poe Avenue in Dayton or online at mybathcreations.com. And upgrade today.
Make the big game sound even bigger with your new TV and sound system from Audio Etc. There is nothing better than a home theater or high-fidelity music system from Audio Etc. 4K is amazing, but just imagine the 8K experience. Come to Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom today and experience 8K TVs and projectors, short throw projectors from 100-inch to 130-inch, all the way to your high-end dream system. Audio Etc has tons of new inventory in stock, while everybody else is back-ordered or out of stock. Get special deals on a TV and your dream system today. Audio Etc can bring any big game home. It's better than being there. You have to see it to believe the incredible quality of the picture and sound. If you can't afford your dream system, check out our huge selection of vintage and pre-owned components. Audio Etc, powered by Klipsch, Bowers & Wilkins, SVS, Marantz, Denon, Sony, and a whole list of high-performance brands that you've probably never heard of. 551 Congress Park Drive in Centerville.
Audio Etc's crazy cool showroom.
Want to make tonight's dinner a true winner? Just stop by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken and pick up a 12-piece family meal at a great price. You'll get 12 pieces of our classic famous recipe chicken that's honey dipped, hand breaded, and pressure cooked just right, along with 3 of our large sides and 6 fluffy biscuits. This is temptation times 12. Get the family meal that's big on flavor and on value with the 12-piece family meal. Only at Lee's, famous for chicken.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Ooma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Meet Boost, the fizzing amazing vitamin boosts that make you feel like
I like to boost it, my vitamins can boost it. I like to boost it, we like to boost it.
Boost effervescent vitamins turn your H2O into H2O to give you a fizz-tastic feeling like
I like to boost it, my vitamins can boost it. I like to boost it, we like to boost it.
Because it's not just vitamins, it's Boost, the fizzing amazing vitamin boost.
Boost it.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Make sure your home's heating and cooling system is in shape for the season with the experts and community trusted service that you can rely on from William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning. We're offering exclusive savings opportunities on a new Lennox system. Call William Brockman & Sons Heating and Air Conditioning at 937-222-8638 today or visit us online at DaytonHeatingandCooling.com. Conditions apply. See dealer for details. Ohio license number 14911.
Meet Boost, the fizzing amazing vitamin boosts that make you feel like
I like to boost it, my vitamins can boost it. I like to boost it, we like to boost it.
Boost effervescent vitamins turn your H2O into H2O to give you a fizz-tastic feeling like
I like to boost it, my vitamins can boost it. I like to boost it, we like to boost it.
Because it's not just vitamins, it's Boost, the fizzing amazing vitamin boost.
Boost it.
Between business life, social life, and her best bud Loki, Beverly has a lot to focus on, especially while fighting Stargardt, a blinding retinal disease. But she's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Beverly, winning the fight means focusing on what's closest to her. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
It's time for frickin' football. Frickers has a way to make this the winning season. Try a frickin' chicken taco, grilled chicken taco, or Mississippi barbecue taco for a limited time. Enjoy a 48-ounce personal pitcher of domestic draft beer.
I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
All the games of college and the NFL at the place that leads the way with inflation-busting prices, everyday values, and where kids eat free. The home for fun, food, sports, and spirits. Frickers.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
See Columbus Equipment Company, 7570 New Carlisle Pike in Dayton.
If you need new roofing, siding, or gutters, skylights, or patio enclosures, if you're a homeowner or business and need someone you can trust, don't take a chance. Enhance with Lance. Lance Roofing and Siding in Fairborn has been satisfying customers since 1993 and hold an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. Lance Roofing and Siding, 8460 Dayton Springfield Road in Fairborn. Call for a free estimate at 864-2722. That's 864-2722 or online at lanceroofing.com.
You need employees.
Tell me about it.
Actually, tell us about it.
Why?
Because when you tell us about your job opening,